And welcome everyone to your Season 12 Black Twitch League finals here between Team DPS and MG Element. My name is RareAdam. Alongside me today is, of course, your commissioner of the league, Ito, as well. Very happy to have you here joining me in the finals cast here today.
Yeah. Glad to, roll up out of bed just a few minutes, like an hour ago or something like that, and get some BTL action. Definitely one of the earliest times we've ever had this finals, but if it works out for all the teams, I'm very happy to do it at this time. I'm very glad that you were available at this time. Usually, whenever we have a really odd time, I'm afraid that I'm just going to be out here solo casting. But Adam was available today. Very, very busy man the last couple of weeks too. So very happy to have you here today as well.
Honestly, it's always the weirdest times that I end up being available. Like if you ask me like middle of the afternoon Sunday, yeah, I'm free. If you ask me later on today, probably not. But regardless, getting into the draft here already, bans already coming through quick and fast here. The Katarina, LeBlanc, and Diana all banned away from MG Element. They want to take King Annihilator off of any of those champions that have any agency. On the flip side, for MG Element, they've banned away the Amumu, the Lulu, and the Victor, and already some 80 carries picked up the Tristana for your bad connection, as well as Out of Blues Caitlyn.
Yeah, some solid picks for both of them. I was just about to say, like, you see the MG Elements kind of like spreading out their bands, like they're not just focusing exactly one person, but you can see that, yeah, DPS is definitely focusing King Annihilator.
And some interesting comfort picks already picked up here with the Shyvana locked in for Runner 90. Last week we got to see the Shyvana in action, and it has been sort of rising in priority recently. Some really interesting nuance about that champion where you're just able to stack up a lot of resistances, be super tanky, and still be able to build sort of this AP hybrid build where you effectively become an AP tank.
Yeah. And who did you say played it last week? Because I was looking at the
It was
I
Runner
want to look at
90.
Runner 90. Okay, well, he's running it back.
Yeah, we're running it back with that one. And of course, the Amumu ban towards Talus. An interesting choice because Talus has pulled out a whole slew of different junglers this season. We've seen the Karthus come out from him before. We've seen the Kha'Zix. We've also seen things like the Ivern come through. So interesting mix already coming through from DPS. But you can already tell everyone in game one sort of picking their comfort. They don't want to reveal too much early on in game one.
I was gonna say that, yeah, this is game one of a best of 5 in finals, so go to your comfort picks. If they've been working on some stuff, they've known their opponent for the past week. These teams have been the best in BTL for the entire season. This is the number 1 and number 2 seed now, and so yeah, they've had some bouts. They know they have a lot of information on each other as well. When you get to the finals, that you could just look at the match results, especially just looking at the last best of 5, how they played it. So yeah, just kind of go to your comfort picks. Don't want to reveal anything. If you got any new tech that you've been working on, don't want to reveal it here too early. Perhaps bring that for a clutch game 3 if you're in the knockout game. So it's very interesting to see.
You want to sort of hide your hand a little bit. Like you don't want to reveal anything. It's the same in like poker per se, where you've got pocket aces or something, but you don't want to give it away. You don't want to go all in before everyone has a chance to sort of get warm with their hand in a way. So in the same vein, that's sort of the idea that we see here. As actually both of the Wind Brothers are going to be banned out here. The Aurelia banned away, as well as that Cho'Gath of note. Quaggart back in the top lane here for DPS. This is someone who's played a lot of tanks to really high efficiency, going up against someone in Venom who plays a lot of those carry top laners. I'm curious to see how this matchup works, because it's two very different top lane styles.
It's very true, and it sounds yeah, we'll see how it goes. I would think depends on the where did that the Akali for MG Element? I think that's Akali mid for King Annihilator.
It could be a flex pick as well. It could be
I was
going
thinking
into
it could be
either
a
solo
flex,
lane.
right?
Yeah. Curious to see where that ends up, and it's just going to be the Zoe picked up by Aliskander here. Of note, Zoe did receive some buffs recently. The Ornn going to come through from Quaggart. Man, these drafts are so expected, and it's actually kind of exciting. You know what? Like, for a lot of
this with comfort.
Yeah, it's just comfort, and honestly, having casted a bunch of like hyper meta things as the Fiora comes through for Venom, just casting like the hyper meta stuff that has been around, like the Jinx every single game, the Aphelios now rising up with Zaya, Misfortune and stuff. It's so refreshing to just see a very comfortable draft for both of these teams, and I'm really excited to see what they bring to the table because it sort of just shows what their identity is, what they want to draft in this series, and they want to show off on what we've already seen them show off on.
Yeah. So I gotta say also I really like the Akali flex there to kind of give them the option to counter pick either lane. I think the Fiora into the Yorn sounds like it's gonna probably do pretty well. I was gonna say it sounds like depends on the character you choose, you can have a pretty good time against the tank, but the tank of course is gonna bring more to team fight. So like kind of depends on how they want to play the game. If I see the Akali and the Fiora, I'm assuming that MT element there does not want a team fight as much and just gonna go for the solo lane.
I think the biggest factor to keep in mind when you look at the likes of this Ornn versus Fiora matchup is that Ornn offers a different type of scaling than what Fiora does. Fiora's going to sit in that side lane. She's just going to try and ruin Quaggard's life in a lot of ways, whereas Quaggard's just trying to get to level 13, upgrade with teammates' items. As you mentioned, it's more for the team that we see this Ornn picked up for, whereas the Fiora just going to sit in that side lane, be really annoying. Granted, you've got so much late game possibility coming through from DPS here because you've got this Ornn, you've got this Karthus, you've got Zoe who can one-shot champions in the later stages. Tristana's no slouch in the late game either, and Soraka scales well as well. So there's a lot going for the side of DPS in terms of scaling. On the flip side, though, you sort of got the skill matchup, the ego matchups, the Akali, the Fiora.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
And you've got Caitlyn Morgana as well. You've got a lot of skill expression for MG Element. So we'll see how that turns out because I'm curious to see how MG Element come through in Game 1 here because in their series against Team Ishtar, they sort of fell flat in Game 1 a little bit. They almost threw a very straightforward win in Game 3 with a super fed Jinx, I believe. And I want to see if they can come through showing their best stuff from the get-go or if it will take them a game to sort of warm up.
Yeah, it is early too. Very, very fair. I'm not sure if that's the thing they played today. I was trying to think what game it was. I remember there was like a super split push of Fiora at some point within the past 2 seasons. I remember who it was that really gave them a problem. I'm not sure if it was their series or DPS. I guess.
I feel like it was.
There was like there was a Fiora that was super split push.
Yes, I believe it was from that. Because Venom's been playing a lot of Fiora.
Yeah, that was trying to see if I can find
Regardless, as we hop into the spectator delay, we're going to take a quick break. See if we can actually get a prediction started in chat to see who they think will take Game 1 here. But before we hit the break, who thinks going to take Game 1 here?
I favor scaling and non-skill expression, just in general. I mean, although these players are all better than me, I prefer
We'll see if DPS are going to be able to come through with the Game 1 victory and fulfill the Ito prophecy, or if MG Element are going to come out of the gates firing on all cylinders. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Game 1 when we get onto the rest. welcome back, everyone, to more BTL Season 12 action here. Yep, all the pings coming down already from both of these teams. This is how you know it is a DPS versus MG Element game. RareAdam alongside Ito here, as both of these teams looking for a little bit of level 1 shenanigans already off the get-go.
Why is Caitlyn? Is Caitlyn gonna? Oh no, no way. Is Caitlyn gonna? Are they gonna walk into Caitlyn alone?
They might be able to.
Oh, is Caitlyn just watching? Wait, do they see each other?
Yeah, out of blue spots it out.
Oh my
sleepy
god!
Trouble bubble lands. Will it be enough to mean anything? Doesn't look like it, but out of blue.
Ooh.
Very scary situation there. That bubble could have been deadly.
Bubble. I mean, that means Zoe started bubble level 1. We take those. Bubble level 1 is not exactly what Zoe. It's going to be hard to push that lane. You can definitely shove Zoe in. Bubble level 1 is not ideal unless you get like an early gank or something.
It's going to make things a little bit more challenging, that's for sure. Yeah. But, you know, I think for the most part, we're going to see Aliskander just trying to get to that level 2 as quickly as possible. Not really sure if the level is going to really matter, yeah?
Aliskander is such a menace with Zoe.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, he also used to. This used to be his special. He used to be. His special used to be stealing away blue buffs. He used to do it as like Ari all the time. There's no way. Look at he. No, wait, does Bubble do enough damage?
It might. Oh.
He
stole it!
I got it!
Stole it!
He got it!
He stole it! He stole the blue buff at level 1.
Aliskander's special! Oh my god! That makes. Oh my god! He's such a menace!
Oh my goodness. Just already level 1.
No.
Just.
No way!
No way.
Clip that! Somebody clip that! It's not real!
Aliskander actually stole away the level 1 blue buff there, but
with the bubble. The bubble does so much damage initially, doesn't it? It does so little damage initially.
It does like
first popping, right?
100 damage there, but Quaggart taking a lot of damage here against Venom.
Oh my god!
For first blood on the
you
top
take our
side.
blue buff, but yeah, and that's what I was afraid of. I mean, Venom is someone like we talk about skill expression in these solo lanes. I mean, that's what MG Element is going for. Like if, like I was saying that I favor the team comp and the scaling generally of DPS, but if these skill expressive champions do pop off, then then they can just carry the game. Both like Akali and Fiora do have that capability. If Venom gets ahead, too far ahead in that top lane, especially like in a take matchup as Fiora, Venom could just be an absolute monster to deal with. And I don't know if they have the ability to really deal with the Fiora. No one can really step up to Fiora.
I mean, we'll see how it progresses. Quaggart just needs to sort of exist in this lane, but just getting absolutely bullied here. Quaggart taking so much damage from Venom. Forced the flash again, but Venom actually going to take a couple of tower shots for their troubles. Of note here, taking away that blue buff really going to hamper Runner 90 just by virtue of taking away that first buff, meaning his clear is a lot slower. He's going to be slower to get to level 6. A lot of the times, especially with these two junglers, Shyvana, Karthus, you're just racing to level 6. Whoever gets level 6 first might end up just having the more impactful ultimate there and having the first gank that really matters here. As we see, it's going to be Talus just clearing out that bot lane. Scuttle Crab taking 7 camps for themselves effectively, with one extra one going in Aliskander's favor there. It actually leads to a little bit of a CS advantage for themselves here. I don't think they're too worried about the fact that they missed a couple of minions of experience, but Talus might be showing up on this bottom side of the map. Seems to have been sniffed out by MG Element.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, I was just looking back at the clip that blue buff steal is just so massive. That feels so bad. What level is Shyvana right now?
Shyvana's still level 3. Yeah, because she did get her blue buff.
After,
she didn't get a Scuttle
clearing.
Quaggart though in trouble once again.
Oh, another one! Oh no!
Oh, Venom.
Oh, Venom.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see that Venom.
Ice in his veins, just picking that one up once again. It's been a little bit of a challenge just to be able to exist in this game thus far.
What did Aliskander just... Wait, what was that?
He picked up Australia's from his bubble.
Oh!
Yep.
Oh my god. I was like staring. I was like, wait, what?
Oh, but the root comes down onto the Soraka there. Double silence. No trap able to follow up. Fierce Sparrow going to be taken down by the Ignite. But your bad connection jumps in, jumps out. Goomba stomp right on top of the Caitlyn. It's a 1-for-1.
Okay. Nice to make that a 1-for-1. Good job there.
And Talus just trying to help Quaggart shove this lane in here. Want to make sure they can get Quaggart a reset here.
Good jungler. That's a way to help a losing lane at the very least. If you can go and help them shove in the tower so they can get a reset and not get frozen on. Good jungler. Do appreciate that. I'm sure a lot of people would appreciate to see that in their solo queue games, but they just sit there and they just get absolutely just demolished in those long lanes. If your jungler just like typically you don't want to help a losing lane if they're losing too hard, but at the very least you can do that for them.
Yeah, and I think that
helped out a lot.
In a lot of ways, we're gonna have to see some interesting nuance come through from the side of MG Element to just keep control of this game, because while you've got a winning top side here, you know, mid lane you're falling behind a little bit in CS. The jungle you're also a little bit behind on your clear speed getting to level 6 as well. It's really just your top lane that's your redeeming factor. Granted, it's a pretty big redeeming factor there. Gold lead already 1,200 gold. That's effectively our gold lead on the map at this moment, just through that top lane. Meanwhile, Runner 90 going to run into Fierce Sparrow here. They know that there's the jungler on the bottom side of the map, but going to miss that binding. Talus is here as well, looking for some more damage, but will not be able to follow up after the Wall of Pain goes down. Right here, though. Still just trying to exist. You can see level 7 on this Fiora to the level 5 Ornn. Not a fun time for the Big Ram.
Alright, Spike Whip. For the Fiora.
And there's some fighting over the wall here. Talus has level 6. Could drop down the Requiem if they want to out of blue. Taking a little bit of damage. Will it come through now? We'll see. Your bad connection to try to deal as much damage as possible. Will end up trading 1 for 1 there, but unfortunately gets bound up. Takes a little bit too much, and it's going to be trades for the AD carries once again. However, the kill does go over to late game carry.
Oh, okay. That's redeeming.
Top side though. Quaker. The Requiem. We didn't see it. It was so hard
I didn't even see it.
Yeah.
What?
Ends up picking that one up, and top side ends up being somewhat favorable for Quaker, but Fierce Sparrow will fall, gets caught by another binding, and late game carry has been on point with them thus far. Alistander gonna land a Sleepy Trouble Bubble onto the Akali, but King Annihilator able to backflip their way out of here. Looking for even more damage though, but you've got to be really careful. This dragon very much in control by the side of MG Element, and bar a crazy play from your bad connection, like picking up a kill there. It will be secure. No, it's the auto attack from the Caitlyn, an early smite from Talus, stuns up, costing them. Now Talus looking for even more, but late game carry finds a 3rd kill of the game. King Annihilator able to find 1 in return, but Alistander finds another one in back. Oh my goodness, and out of blue stays alive. It's a massacre around the dragon. Ends up being a 3 for 3, but the dragon goes over to MG Element.
What a hectic fight. What a hectic fight. And a hectic dragon secure. The Caitlyn ended up securing with the auto attack. Incredible. I have to say, respect for Kurga up here, but Kurga's doing his best. Doing what you need your Ornn to do in this losing lane. Has kind of solidified there. The Requiem earlier, I still don't know why we didn't see it, but incredibly clutch. I was thinking that Talus was going to use it whenever Your Bad Connection was doing the turret dive. I thought that they would use Requiem there to secure those kills, but now I'm kind of glad that he didn't.
Yeah, picks up, a kill there, was able to pick up another one around the dragon area. So despite the early dragon going in favor of MG Element, DPS are still feeling pretty happy about their game state here. Karthus, of course, did receive buffs. Is incredibly strong right now, and these Skittles are not missing. Venom gonna try and find it with the Grand Challenge. Talus gonna go golden, but there's no follow-up. Talus will connect that kill through, but the healing coming down on to Runner 90. They're still in the Karthus zone. Now Shyvana's gonna have to walk away, but Alistander rotating up to the top side as well. Meanwhile, bot lane here, gonna be the Soul Shackles coming through for late game carry. Gets the stun and kill onto Your Bad Connection as Fierce Sparrow forced to run for the hills. Meanwhile, top lane, Alistander able to connect up onto the Shyvana. It's an extra kill across the map going in favor of MG Element, but this top lane tower going to be losing some plates for their trouble.
These two teams are such an exciting matchup. Already, I can say this is going to be a very interesting series. This is such an exciting matchup. It feels like they're so well balanced, they're so well matched. The bot lane battles have been incredible. Out of blue and Your Bad Connection. There's just two of the better bot lanes. Obviously, these are going to be the better teams in the league if we're here in finals, but it's just so exciting already.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it develops from there, because we've already seen so much action, and if it continues at this pace, you know, who knows what'll happen next in a lot of ways. But Aliskander in this mid lane, 2-1-0. A pretty strong performance after stealing away that blue buff early. You know, has another one in inventory now. But I want to point out this bot lane coming through from MG Element. Combined, they are 6, 3, and 9. They've got so much kill participation on their side. This
Morgana has 4 kills. I just realized.
4-1 and 4 for late game carry. They've been able to
early game carry right now.
Exactly. And Morgana's not a champion that's any slouch once you get into the later stages, but King Annihilator now going in onto Aliskander. Forces the flash out from the Zoe, but is able to pick up a turret plate for the trouble. Still looking for trades back and forth.
In with the ulti.
This Zoe is going to be a pain to deal with. She did recently get buffs as well, so this is a Zoe that is stronger on patch 12.8.
On someone that already liked to play Zoe. Aliskander's been a Zoe main for like a year or so, year or two.
We'll see what develops in the next couple of minutes here because turret plate's still up and available. We're still in the early game here. 11 minutes in, we've had 19 kills. It's
that's what I'm saying.
Wild.
This is exciting.
A really wild start to this game. I'm curious to see how much more it develops because that's really going to be the main indicator for me, I think, in which team will end up coming out on top because still this game incredibly close. This sort of skill check from MG Element has worked out in their favor, but we still got to look at the scaling that DPS have on their side. This Karthus now just picked up that Luden's going to be dealing a lot of damage off of that ultimate.
Looking at the bot lane now.
No, bot lane just sort of existing for the time being. They've finally been able to sort of just farm it out a little bit more. Kraken Slayer complete on Your Bad Connection. Gale Force complete on Out of Blue. So both of them with their mythics sitting relatively even in terms of the itemization, but the gold still just a hair in favor of the Caitlyn here. Of course, the Morgana with the biggest gold lead now on the map, up about 1,500 gold. This game still.
Morgana, you said that's so funny.
Yeah, the Morgana has the biggest.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, late game carry though.
Damage coming out of Karthus.
Way Talus really able to dodge out from those ones and stay safe. But around this dragon now, once again, runner 90. They've got the dragon passive, right? You know, you pick up a dragon with Shyvana, you get 5 armor, 5 MR, and they've gotten one already. It's going to be their second one secured. Gotta be careful.
Galazzo was secured by Caitlyn too. They almost didn't get it with the smite, so it was nice. It was lucky that they got that first one. Now they got the 2 stacking one, and now we know that it'll now be a mountain map. I was just about to mention this so early in the game that although we have these 19 kills, we actually don't even know what type of map we're on yet, or what the soul's going to be. Now we're going to see it's going to be a mountain soul, which would be very helpful for like the likes of Ornn. I'm sure Ornn would love a mountain soul. I'm sure so would Morgana. Oh my goodness!
Everyone would love Mountain Soul this game.
Yeah, that's true. Everyone likes it. That's true. Yeah.
You know, you get more resistances. You're able to stack it up quicker, but overall, this top side is just quicker trying to stay alive. And, you know, level 9 out of 13, waiting for that upgraded Ornn item to come through. I mean, they haven't even built up a Mythic yet, so it might even be later than that. But the mid lane, Aliskander, oh my goodness, this Zoe does so much damage when left untouched.
Yeah.
Oh, but jumping in now is going to be this Tristana trying to deal as much damage as possible. It's going to be a nice taking down Veer Sparrow. Plus the Requiem damage. Late game carry flashes forward. I think they thought they were in range for their ultimate or something. Unable to connect the dots, but King Annihilator, oh my goodness, so much damage as well. Talus, though, picking up even more first strike gold here as runner 90 now forced to come down to push out this lane.
Your back connection has been so good at I can't think of the word right now. The thing where you jump at the right time so that the binding doesn't, like, you can still jump at the binding. Buffering, like the jump or something like that.
Yeah, the buffer.
Yeah, the buffer, because like he's done it like almost on every single Morgana binding. So like he like waited till Morgana float till the bind hit him and jumped forward there, so he would still get his jump forward instead of getting stopped. So good stuff there. And I guess they knew that they had the Karthus ulti.
Yeah, knowing that you've got that Karthus ultimate in the back pocket is incredibly strong for yourself. You know, you want to be able to use that Requiem to sort of sometimes start off fights to just get as much damage as possible onto everyone, or you can use it at the end of fights to sort of get those finishing blows onto multiple members if possible. So just being able to drop that down is so useful for this side, but for the time being, you know, still the gold is dead even here, basically, at 15 minutes. That might change as Talus now moving up to this top side. They might be able to.
How much damage?
Venom going to be going in with the grand challenge, not able to land that last little bit.
Ooh,
The knock up under tower. Venom at the big heal from the Gore Drinker, but now King Annihilator's here. Quaker picks up Venom. Will try and get out alive. Oh my goodness, the moves from the Akali. Doesn't look like that Requiem's going to get dropped as well, but Alexander now in a little bit of a hairy situation. Runner 90 going to go golden as the shutdown comes through. On that top side of the map, MG Element come out ahead.
Not a Kali specifically. I had no idea that I didn't even see the first part of it. He just like started moving backwards somehow. I was like, how is he going back? Good stuff there. But yeah, I guess they can in fact fight Fiora, but with some help and everyone collapsing up there, another exciting gank and fight. Oh, and now we got a Kali versus Ornn, maybe?
I don't think this is going to be too much of a fight. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just back up.
And they don't want to take that, but looking at the status of this jungle matchup, you can see 2 items now complete on to Talus, and a lot of that just comes by virtue of the first strike that they've been able to pick up. 362 gold picked up. That's effectively an extra kill for themselves in terms of the amount of gold they've been able to receive. But on this bot side here, so scrappy. Even though you've got the Soraka, even though you got the Morgana, normally seen as more passive supports, it's been scrappy. There's been a lot of fighting down on the bottom side of the map. Oh, but the Karthus ultimate actually going to come down. Look at the damage it does to Out of Blue here. Woo! So much damage. It buys enough space for 2 towers to go down in favor of DPS. And now DPS have been able to encroach themselves up just a little bit more by picking up a couple of structures.
And the game is now separated by 1K. In favor of the team that has less kills based off of the...
Oh never mind. Yeah, your bad connection. They're able to trade it back with the explosive charge, though. Yeah.
Worth? Oh my god, look at the damage from them. Shyvana.
Well played.
Stuff.
The flame breath does so much damage.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Is
Ornn in trouble here?
Yeah, Quaker's in trouble. Going to try and stand against the wall, though. Might be able to stay alive. Will just barely pick up the trade.
You take those. If you're down, you definitely take those. 100%.
Saved that last vital against the wall. Really well played. And honestly, it's been so close on both sides. I mean, it's a 1-for-1 top side. You get an extra kill on the bottom side of the map as well with the Shyvana. And now both of these junglers are going to be really potent come the later stages of this game, because Shyvana is one of those champions that, she just farms for 20 minutes and then shows up and she does a boatload of damage to you.
Yeah.
Talus, though, going to try and pick up this dragon for themselves. They've got some help with your bad connection, but do they really have the numbers advantage here? It's a root and a drowsy both ways. Alexander taking a healthy chunk. Here comes the teleport in from the Fiora. Quaker doesn't have that available, but it's going to be secured by Talus. The fight ensuing, though, may go the way of MG Element. Goes golden as Talus gets a little bit of a heal. Will try and use that ultimate now. You can't even see it as it comes down, I believe. Oh my goodness, Runner 90 gonna be taken down on the side as the kill goes in favor of the Karthus. It's a 2-for-2. Both junglers and both supports going down.
Wait, what can you see? Can't see?
I don't know.
It comes down?
I thought that I heard the sound for the Karthus ultimate and then he didn't use it.
Yeah, that's multiple times that we just have not...
he didn't use it, though, that time, so...
Okay, he didn't, that's true.
Oh, meanwhile, Quaker traded for your bad, or Out of Blue, sorry, as...
Yeah, what...
Just fight everywhere.
What is Zoe doing there? It's probably what Out of Blue's thinking. Like, we're taking your mid lane tower, why are you here?
Here comes the Requiem, though. King Annihilator gonna have to go golden, but Venom now ignited. Will they find the 1v1 against Alexander? Oh my goodness, the flash! Look at the moves from Alexander. Able to get out alive, and now Annihilator tries to find it. My goodness, this game just keeps delivering on so many levels here, and Alexander, just been able to deal a lot of damage now. King Annihilator going to go into 3 here. I don't know how advisable this is. Gets taken down before they're able to use the perfect execution. Second charge of it as Runner 90 now goes down. Alexander comes over the wall, and DPS, they find a couple picks in that mid lane. This is a really good play for them. They're able to get a lot more gold, and now they're feeling a little bit more comfy. And as you were mentioning, this Zoe 5-2-2 now for Alexander. They're feeling real happy about their situation.
Oh, yeah. This game has a lot of exciting characters to watch fight. Zoe is, oh my goodness. I don't know if he's going to go for something crazy as Zoe and the Akali. A lot of fun.
And it's actually just
crazy.
a
And that's going to be a
20-minute
Baron.
At
Oh my
20
goodness.
minutes.
Oh my god.
Right on spawn. DPS just take advantage of their map situation. They know they've got a Tristana who does a lot of damage. They know they've got the Karthus who does a lot of damage.
That's a great call.
They just take it under the noses of MG Element. Now it's about a 4,000 gold lead for the side of DPS. They're starting to come online. And
Yeah, that's a
Quager's level 13.
Right there. Oh, ornaments.
Yep, ornaments are going to start coming through. And you've got a lot of good upgrades to get here. The Wormfall and Sacrifice on the Tristana going to increase your damage by a healthy chunk. You've got upgraded Ludens as well on both the Karthus and the Zoe. There's a lot of damage to be put into both of these sides, and I'm curious to see what the next steps for both of these teams are, because for MG Element at least, they've been sort of on the back foot, and a lot of that just comes through this jungle matchup here. Oh my goodness, as the root comes down on to Aliskander, unable to find the combo with the trap is out of blue, but it's level 13 to level 11 on the junglers. Runner 90 has been constantly just 40, 50 CS behind the Karthus in a matchup where you would expect the Shyvana to stay at least even.
Yeah. I mean, again, we saw Shyvana got off to a rough start. I think it's hard to overstate how much losing that first blue buff can really affect just like your entire game. If you like fall behind like that on that first clean, and now you're just like constantly behind. But then also Talus has just been doing a lot of work on Karthus, and Karthus gets ahead, stays ahead really hard. For Karthus doesn't exactly fall off.
Yeah, like Karthus doesn't fall off, and that's the main thing. In the same way that Shyvana doesn't really fall off, it can't be understated how much this Karthus has been able to do. Now going to drop down an ultimate as
Is this
well.
supposed to be quiet?
Yeah, out of blue, going to be taken down. It is supposed to be quiet, yes.
Okay.
You only hear it if you're hovering over Karthus, but it's another kill going in favor of Talus, and with this Baron buff, they're looking to shove down this middle inhibitor. They've still got another minute on this Baron buff. They've got another wave coming in about 15 seconds. Do they look to try and end the game here? It doesn't look like it. They're going to use their Shurelya's and get out of dodge.
I think I've been playing too much Valorant, where everyone's ultimate announces it globally too much.
I've been playing a lot of Valorant as well. Like,
yeah, I think that's where I was like, why is this ultimate that affects everyone so quiet? Like, I think that's just how it is, actually.
Yeah. Honestly, sometimes you hear, you want to play, let's play, and I'm like, and then you use the macro voice line for no, and it's like, okay, there you go. That's how you outplay it. I haven't played too much Valorant as well, honestly. Like, oh my goodness. The game is so addicting, and I'm still really bad at it, so it's...
Yeah, that's the thing, too. I'm just bad still. I just struggling to play so much. I was like, why am I still so bad?
Yeah, I play so much of it, and I just look at my rank, I'm like, yeah, I'm still bronze 3 in this? Oh, boy.
Yeah, I'm bronze 2.
It's like, oh, just click their head. It's so easy. No, it's not. It's not that easy, man. But regardless, this top lane matchup, though.
Oh, my goodness. It feels like it's changed.
Yeah, Quagert now, all of a sudden, able to just stand up and exist in the same space as Venom. And a lot of that's just due to the Grievous wounds coming through.
Goodness.
Quagert, though, needs to be careful as over the wall comes Runner 90. Venom going under the tower, tried by the
Oh, my goodness.
Quagert's able to stay alive. Now going to drop down the orange
imagine.
one. Runner 90 able to get out of that one.
Oh, that didn't seem worth it all for MG Element.
Very close call.
Oh man, yeah, Fiora is just not been able to really do it to him anymore. You need to get him underneath the tower, I guess. Yeah. I feel like they gotta force that dive to try to make some progress there for Fiora.
And I think that's especially
it's like a win con for them.
It's a win condition for them. And you look at this Caitlyn now building towards the Bloodthirster. She's got a very, very defensive second item in a lot of ways. Yes, it gives you a lot of damage. It gives you a lot of lifesteal, but you need to be able to stay alive to deal that damage. You've got the passive shield building, but Tristana can just jump in and jump out in the time that it takes for that shield to come through. And really interesting to not see the likes of a Hex Drinker picked up yet, especially considering there's a Zoe and a Karthus on the enemy team.
Yeah, Very true, yeah. It's gonna get just popped by that magic damage. I'm trying to think, like, man, I'm looking at these scores, like, it doesn't feel like this game is 20 to 19 on kills. I think it's just because of where the kills are. I think the kills are just where you want them for DPS more. Like Morgana still is like almost tied for the most amount of kills. Caitlyn only has 2 kills. Caitlyn would definitely have loved to have a few more of those kills. I think Caitlyn's a little bit behind on gold there.
You're gonna see the goal differences here.
Yeah.
It's about 2,500 in the mid lane here, about 3,000 on the bottom side of the map. We're almost 3,500 now between the 280 carries, and even in the jungle here, this Karthus is massive now. Picking up the Rabadons, knowing that there's not a lot of magic resistance built up.
Karthus has the most gold in the game. Karthus is rich.
Karthus is really rich, and a lot of that is because of the first strike that they were able to take, but it's also just being able to pick up almost every objective, having almost the most farm in the game as well, you know, just a little bit behind Venom and your bad connection. But now the fight going to come down onto Alistander. They go golden. Now King Annihilator forced to go golden, but here comes the Requiem as well. So much damage comes down as King Annihilator takes a little bit of extra. Leandre's would have led to a burn there, but oh my goodness. Here comes the sleep. Picked up by Alistander. They come all the way down and find that one. Now Runner 90's in trouble. Bottom side of the map. Oh my goodness. Lens another one here. It's a 3 picked up all by the Zoe. Now Venom will find the kill on the bottom side of the map, but at what cost? It might be the game. Annihilator versus the world. Your bad connection has so much damage with this Tristana to these towers. Tal's just flashing forward. Finish as much damage out as possible. Both Nexus towers down. Gonna go to sleep, and that's going to be the game, I believe. It's 3 versus 1. Venom has found one, though, on to the Soraka. Will they find the damage? No, they will not. Venom won't be able to stop your bad connection. Alistander from cleaning that one up. That's game 1 going for Team DPS.
At the end, does not seem as close to the scoreboard as the overall score will suggest, 24 to 22, but at some point just seemed like pure domination objectively, is at least for DPS.
Incredibly well played from them. They were able to sort of shore up their early game downfall a little bit with some really scrappy plays to just be able to come out on top. And I think a lot of that just comes from their scaling and from the skill that they've got, that Alistander has on the Zoe. The Zoe really helped them push through and end that game when they did. I think they were still in a position to win the game, but Alistander just made sure they ended it right then and there.
Yeah, and I was saying, like, I feel like they kind of had feast or famine lanes in the top and mid. And yeah, after a while, if it just didn't go their way, like the Fiora was ahead at first, but that momentum did not continue. They were not able to actually get Fiora crazy head. They were not actually able to force that side lane person. They tried to do it a little bit too late. There in the late game with Fiora in the bot lane, able to kill the Ornn and get the tower, but that was way too late at that point. They just weren't able to relate, and they like tried to force it a few times underneath the tower, and it just didn't really work out. I think Talus did a good job covering, and then Karthus always has global presence with the ultimate. So, I mean, I was right about DPS winning that one.
DPS going to take that one, but of course we're going to take a break and see if MG Element are able to right the ship in game number 2, but take a short break, and when we're back, we'll be into draft of that second game. And welcome back, everyone, to the Black Twitch League finals here between MG Element and DPS. DPS taking a very convincing Game 1 victory there. And my name is RareAdam alongside Ito. And very excited to see what these two teams have in store for game number 2.
I'm excited to see the changes in bands. First one I see is Carthus.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I think that's fair.
Yeah,
But Zoe, but not Zoe.
Yeah, interesting.
Which I mean, okay.
We'll see what Alistander, if Alistander feels confident enough to just blind pick it again. Because last game, it wasn't to the Akali. They sort of knew that that was an option. But Runner 90 this time, just going to call their own number and say, we're going to pick up the Zac for myself there. This is a champion that they've also played a whole lot this season. And it's a champion that both of these junglers have pulled out. And to great success. I feel like Zac has been sort of the hidden OP BTL champion this entire season.
Yeah. I think especially Runner 90 is probably the person that's played it the most, right?
Yeah, Runner 90 played the Zac, played the Fiddlesticks, has a very interesting champion pool, but I'm shocked to see that DPS here, they're picking up the Caitlyn Morgana for themselves this time, taking it away from out of blue and late game carry. Of note, Jinx, Xayah still available here. Xayah is going to be that pickup there, but recently nerfed on this patch, so not going to be doing quite as much as she once was, but still a decent amount of damage that can come through from the Bird Lady.
What they nerf specifically? No?
They nerfed her Q damage by a lot. If I remember, about 20 damage at rank. Yeah, at rank 5. So it's pretty substantial. But when you pair it up with the Rakan, you've still got a really potent combo there. The Lovers Duo going to come through for MG Element.
Both of these very potent bot lanes. Caitlyn Morgana has been a classic bot lane for a very long time. There used to be a team that played it pretty much every single game. They won their first day was Dinosaur Club. Remember Dino Club?
Yeah, Dino Club.
They won it. They won the season, I think, in season 9 or something like that, and then they came back a few times. And they pretty much played. We saw Captain Kirk and oh man, Rim Almighty play a lot of Caitlyn Morgana bot. And there's the Fiddlesticks there.
Ooh, so Talus actually just gonna take a page out. Yeah.
Okay. Those AP junglers are now for Talus.
Yeah, interesting to see that happen. And just looking at the nerfs here, yeah, it's 20 damage at max rank on the Q double daggers, as well as the cooldown is 2 seconds longer at max rank as well. So really just taking away some of her trading patterns. We'll see what happens, because there's still the option of just going your old crit Xayah in a lot of ways as well. You've still got the power with the W.
The lethality.
Yeah, instead of going the lethality, and while lethality is still very good, maybe it's going to be the crit option that we see come through, especially since you've got the Rakan by your side. But looking at these bans here, Fiora, Yasuo going to be taken away from Venom and King Annihilator, respectively. On the flip side, it's Quaggard's Ornn and the Zoe from Alistander taken off the table. That's where those bans are going to be coming through.
Yep, there it is. That makes sense. That's good. That's good draft awareness there. They know that they're probably not going to pick the Zoe in the first. It's probably not so much a priority that they pick it in the first rotation, so you do still have time to ban it if you just wait for the second phase. That's good awareness there by MG Element. Let's say we're going to see the Cho'Gath there for DPS.
Yeah, this is another Quaggart special in a lot of ways. He's been one just to pull out tank after tank after tank, and I remember when Gwippo was still the top laner for MG Element, you just see them go Ornn Cho'Gath and then swap the matchup Cho'Gath versus Ornn and all of that sort of stuff. But Venom, a different kind of top laner here, and the Camille seems to be the option for them here.
Okay. More solid team fighting comp here from MG Element than what we saw last game, where we kind of saw like the Fiora and the Akali solo lanes. We'll see what we see from King Annihilator here. Alistander will get the counter pick no matter what.
Unless it's Cho'Gath mid lane for Alistander, which
Alistander plays some stuff. I mean, you know what? The Rakan was low-key a takeaway from MG Element.
Yeah.
Took away Rakan mid from Alistander.
Yeah, technically a takeaway there, but the Cassiopeia going to come through for King Annihilator.
That's a solid pick. Okay, their team fight is very solid right now. MG Element going for, I think, a different kind of game plan than the last game in game 1.
And I think the biggest thing is that with the Cassiopeia in tow now, you've got a lot of agency to drop a lot of damage in these team fights. But Aliskander going to
Ooh.
come over the top with the Aurelia
Ooh.
pickup.
Okay.
Interesting option into the Cassiopeia. It's definitely a skill matchup. That's what we can say.
Hmm. Yeah, and Aliskander's a very skilled player. I think we can agree to that. So, yeah, I respect the choice. I think, yeah, I respect it.
I think there's definitely a lot of interesting nuance that comes through in that matchup specifically because
Right.
it's all about dodging away from the miasma as well as the petrifying gaze. There's a lot of outplay potential for King Annihilator, but also for Aliskander in that vein. Really needs to pick his dashes carefully in that sense.
Right. Be interesting to watch it play out.
Looking at just looking at these lanes once again. I mean, we look at the Caitlyn Morgana versus the Xayah Rakan. You know, what are you expecting out of this bot lane from either side? Because it's basically out of blue and late game carry, getting their bot lane taken away from them.
Man, it's hard to think what that matchup looks like. I can't imagine. I feel like Caitlyn Morgana is just such a dominating lane. Like Caitlyn Morgana just gets to play lane exactly how they want to matchup. It's very hard to stop them from playing how they want. Because they could just always shove harder than like any other duo. But that can get them into trouble if they get engaged on. It's going to be Morgana. I think it has to be a skill matchup. See how Morgana uses the shield to prevent the knockups from Rakan and the snares from Xayah. I don't know. I think they'll both be super solid bot lanes. I can't imagine how this is going to go. But with how they played last game, they played very. There was not a lack of fighting in bot lane in any way, shape, or form. So we'll see. I definitely expect them to fight with each other. I can't quite pick a winner. I feel like certainly the Lovers duo has to be better in a 2v2.
We would expect, at least.
Right.
That's what we would hope to see because, you know, Xayah Rakan, you would hope that they're good together, but recently there's been a lot of movement saying, hey, you know, Xayah with Rakan, there's better combos for Xayah. You know, you can pick engage with Xayah with this lethality build. It really depends on if we see Out of Blue opt for the lethality build still. Granted, it is nerfed, but it's still a strong pick, and I think a lot of people still value those stats on someone like a Xayah. So I'm curious to see how that matchup works out. That's sort of my pick to watch. But of course, what do you think is going to come through or who do you think is going to win game number 2 here? Because MG Element, they've got, I want to say, a little bit more of a cohesive team after a 4-1 sort of deal.
Right. That's what I was saying. Yeah.
DPS, it's still DPS. We saw a great performance out of them in game 1.
True. DPS, it's very hard to bet against DPS. DPS has been the solid number 1 team in BTL for a long time now. And I think they only dropped one match. TSTR. Give it to MD Element. I think if I'm always preaching ease of execution, I think they have the ease of executing. Yeah, that's hard to say. It's close. It's close. But I'll go with MD Element.
A little bit of a tough call from the side of Ito here, but what we'll do is we'll head to a break once again. Back, we'll find out if MG Element are going to tie the series up or if DPS are going to push this series to match point. We'll be right back. welcome back everyone to Black Twitch League Finals, game number 2 here between MG Element and DPS RareAdam alongside Ito here as we've already got a disconnect here. We actually got to dodge through the pause. That's something that is always really good about waiting for a little bit of a delay sometimes.
True. Are we not going to get the after pause?
No.
Oh, wow.
We dodged
Riot Client.
We dodged both of them by waiting.
That's incredible.
Sometimes it's after pause is like a specific amount of time pause to make sure that you've still got your 3-minute delay. I think that's what it is, but it's I don't know. Everything's weird. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It is absolutely nonsensical. Of note here, it's going to actually be an early ward clear picked up here. The scoreboard's broken. You know what? The scoreboard's still broken. You know what? They have not fixed that. Sometimes the scoreboard just refuses to refresh. It is an early ward picked up by the side of Alexander, so they're going to get level 2 off the first wave.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yep. So we'll see if that ends up meaning anything against King Annihilator. I think they're aware that Alexander got credit for that ward kill, but this bottom side, you can see long range route gonna come down. Already some heavy foe coming through on both sides.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, they fight it in this bot lane.
Yeah,
if last game means anything.
Yeah, we know they're gonna be out there fighting a lot, but Alexander already moving up aggressively here. You can see the damage coming out of blue. Forced to cleanse out that ignite. The flash forward from your bad connection. It's first blood for the DPS bot lane.
Okay. I know I said maybe Zyrakan should win that, but I mean, at level 1, you can't really contest with Morgana binding Kate with Q. That is really hard to contest.
So an early pickup for this bot lane is going to mean a lot of experience missed by this Xayah as well as late game carry.
Plate? Are they getting a plate?
They might be. Your bad connection might just get a solo plate here. Oh my goodness. Fierce Sparrow just coming mid lane as well on the rotation. You can see DPS are just trying to play as proactively as possible. And once again, Quaggart's just going to be trying to stay alive on that top side of the map. This time only until level 6 where you can get that chomp and you can start to get real tanky.
Right. We see the Ignite teleport there by Camille. So Camille's definitely looking to try and get some type of kills. Some type of fighting going on.
Definitely looking for
early lead here for the Caitlyn. Yeah, Caitlyn's now level 3 since Caitlyn got that solo experience.
It's an incredibly good start for this Caitlyn from Your Bad Connection, sort of a half salty run back in that sense, just taking away the enemy bot lane and saying, here's how you actually play this and win the game. Alexander, though, holy crap, lots of damage in that mid lane as well, although it is traded back quite effectively by King Annihilator. As we said, this mid lane is going to be explosive and lots of skill checks going to be happening here on this bottom side of the map. Runner 90 looking for a little bit of a sneaky play in this tri-brush and a sort of elastic slingshot their way in, but will they be successful in doing so? Your bad connection actually caught out here. Yep, we're gonna get knocked up. The flash forward from late game carry. The black shield doesn't matter, goes right through it. And just like that, MG Element strike back. Mid lane, though, Tal is going to be able to get the drain kill onto King Annihilator. So it's a 2-for-1 across the map, but evens out this game state a little bit more in favor of MG Element.
Yeah. I was just about to say, like, oh, there's that early Zac pressure gank, but Talos found himself a gank in the mid lane. Gotta respect that.
And Fiddlesticks is a champion that you don't really expect to be coming through with early ganks. You know, normally just expecting level 3, or not the level 3, level 6 gank to come through, but already you can see Tal's level 5 on the Fiddlesticks, has been farming up a storm thus far, and really curious to see how this develops, because Fiddlesticks is a champion that really gets a lot of damage in the early game with that Crow Storm down. You can get a lot of
fighting.
Margaret's winning this top lane match.
Yeah, he is slapping. Cho'Gath is not just sitting back.
Cho'Gath in a lot of ways, it is a good matchup into Camille until Camille gets like Divine Sunder and stuff. that's when it gets really challenging, as you can see, Quaker just being a pain. But I think a lot of that just has to do with the sustain that they get off of their passive, right? It's just the Carnivore passive, you get 30 health back and like mana back as well. It's really basic. It's one of those memes where you like take a look at Pyke's like the new ult description and stuff, and then you look at Cho'Gath passive and you're like, how are these in the same game? Let's see if I want to see if I can pull it up on stream really quickly here. I'm trying to think who has the most complicated ability here. Probably. I'm trying to think about which ability.
These are mostly simple champions.
I think the longest one is going to be Camille Ultimate. So what we'll do a little experiment. The stream will see this. Carnivore, killing an enemy restores 35 health and 4.5 mana. Camille Ultimate. Camille briefly becomes untargetable and leaps up onto an enemy champion, interrupting channels and locking them into an area that they cannot escape by enemies for 2.5 seconds. Other nearby enemies are knocked away as King Annihilator takes down Talus in the mid lane. Her attacks against the trapped enemy deal an additional 5 plus 4% current health and magic damage. Yeah, that sort of stuff. As mid lane once again. Kill goes the opposite way, but now bot side here, Urbad can actually gonna find one. Now Alexander in the 2v1, not gonna be able to get anything else. Almost finds the outplay, but the diamond is in the rough and will stay there for the time being.
Back away pings. Again, another game where there's just a lot of kills. There's a lot of trades going on between these two teams. Gold is relatively even, but yeah, these two teams, they fight.
It's scrappy. And I want to point out here as well, Out of Blue still opting for that lethality. Zaya still believing that it is the strongest option.
I feel like if you have Rakan, you want to use your W more often anyway, right? Because it buffs him too, doesn't it? Right? If I remember all this correctly.
Yes, it does. It does buff him as well. I'm perplexed by it. I think that it is the better option to go for something like the on-hit Zaya, but once again, it's Out of Blue making the decision here, and it may still just be a comfort thing. Sometimes you're just comfortable with a certain playstyle, you want to stick with that as well, but for the time being, Quaker and Venom just sort of existing in the same area. This Warden's Mail pickup just going to cut so much damage from Venom throughout this lane in terms of those auto attacks, but now Fierce Sparrow just clearing out some vision, maybe trying to set up for an early dragon take for Talus. Of note, 8 minutes in, and no one has taken a dragon yet. Its first dragon on the map is going to be the Ocean Dragon. Because
oh my god!
That's a lot of damage.
Wait, what? This guy half health by the Caitlyn ulti?
Yes. I mean, it was also a Morgana W on top of it, so...
I guess that's fair, but still, that hurt. That hurt so bad. Imagine if you were half health and you just died from Caitlyn ultimate.
It's a lot of damage. Hopefully, Out of Blue, though, you're going to get that Guardian Shield to force the cleanse out from that Morgana binding. This is a tough situation here, because your bad connection is just perma-pushing this lane and has the likelihood to get
that's what I was saying about Caitlyn Morgana. Like, they control the lane so hard by how effectively and efficiently they push.
They're just able to
keep you underneath your tower,
just shove it in on repeat. It's a really brainless style of play in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
it's just,
and it's so effective.
You push.
Right.
It only really matters if you get a gang coming down from runner 90, but that's the third plate picked up at 9 minutes here, and Dragon Control already going over to the side of DPS. We can see Fiddlestick's just going to be soloing that one down, although runner 90 looking over the wall here, gets the stretching strike. Are they going to leap over? Look for it. They will try and go by the side, but won't be able to find. Has to flash out of here to stay alive, and it's going to just be an Ocean Dragon secured by the side of DPS.
And that's another thing that we were talking about. That if they just shoving like that, they get all these players, and they just have priority for this dragon.
As this game progresses, we'll have to continue to keep our eyes out for what this DPS side want to do, because it's all about their proactivity in a lot of ways. You've got this lead on the bottom side of the map. You've got this Fiddlesticks. You hope to see some big plays come out, big pro storms coming through, and even in the mid lane here, oh my goodness, Out of Blue almost burns down there actually from the Piltover Peacemaker. Alexander has a 15 CS lead in the mid lane. Like, it's not as if this mid lane is over or anything just because of that early kill. realistically here, Talus and Fear Sparrow, they're just going to be able to pick up potentially this entire tower.
They're just going to get this tower?
Yeah. Talus is here as well, just to supplement. Runner 90 can leap in, though. Let's see if they find the play. Soul Shackle's going to come down as there's fighting in the mid lane as well. Morgana's way up there, just fighting the Zac, and actually the Rakan, and kind of winning out on it. Zac, though, Runner 90 going to be taken down under this tower into the block. They're going to have to find the damage. The drain comes down. Another great here. Oh my goodness! The Black Shield as well is incredible coming through now. Late game carry in trouble. The double kill for the Fiddlesticks. Talus looking for more out of blue, force the flash away. And it's going to be first tower picked up by DPS. So much action on the bottom side of the map.
That's just so well done by DPS. So well done, pushing them off the tower, getting the kills, getting the tower well executed. Well, their tower still has 5 plates. Yeah, Caitlyn Morgana. Woo! Fun gameplay.
And realistically, they just rotate up to this top side of the map here, secure themselves a Rift Herald, and they can just do it all again on the top lane. So,
Caitlyn Morgana just kingdom. That's what they do.
It's well played, because I think last game we saw the power of Caitlyn Morgana and what they can do in fighting. This game, we're seeing what your bad connection Fear Sparrow can do with this combo, just in terms of the lane presence. You're just able to exist in that lane, continuously push, and not really have to worry about too much. You don't need to win fights to win that lane.
Yep. Very true. You can just the pushing and the shoving, and now we're gonna have Alistander. Yeah, but Alistander in the long lane. I really would love to be in a longer lane here.
And
just rotate over to mid.
Yeah, they're just going to rotate mid and continue to push down that mid lane. Alistander can just sit on this bottom side of the map. I don't think they're too worried. I think they're confident enough that they could win a 2v1. Can they win a 3v1, though?
Probably not.
That's the real question. Runner 90, late game carry are here. That's going to be the Flawless Duet. Miss. They're going to try and find the fight, but Alistander will go down on this bottom side of the map. Meanwhile, top lane, though, Rift Herald goes in favor of DPS.
They get the objective.
Yeah, they get the objective. They get the Rift Herald, and once again, your bad connection. Time to go back to work here. Just autoing down these towers as much as possible. Talus with the Rift Herald as well should secure this second full tower. Oh no, it's 10 plates to 0 in favor of DPS. While the kills may be even, the neutral game is all in favor of DPS. They're up 3,500 gold.
Yup. Even on kills, up 3.5K.
We'll have to see what they do next, because very likely they reset. Now picking up a Dirk, building towards that Collector, and now just going to walk towards that mid lane and should be able to pick up. Well, I don't think they're going to pick up plates there, but they just can control that lane as well. That wave might be able to collect a plate, but no one's going to be in the area to pick up the local gold for it either. So while you get a plate in the mid lane, no one gets the gold for it. Alistander, though, going to miss that Vanguard's edge. Flawless Duet lands out of blue. Needs to try and call those feather back.
ADC, man.
Not going to be able to use it, and ends up going down to all that
Tried
damage.
everything. He tried his ultimate. He tried his cleanse. He tried everything he could do.
Just wasn't enough at the end of the day, and Alistander finds a solo kill on the bottom side of the map in the salty run back in a lot of ways. So despite that, 3,500 gold, we'll have to see what this Caitlyn Morgana can do in the mid lane. Meanwhile, top lane, Quaggart, Venom, just going at it, dealing damage to each other. That's what top laners are meant to do. Fear Sparrow just trying to get as much vision control as possible, but look at this trap line set up in preparation for this dragon. Gonna make it hard for Runner 90 to or get friends to walk in. Runner 90 can jump in by themselves over the wall, but it's really everyone else who's going to struggle.
Right. And then, this macro control from DPS is just a thing of beauty right now. The objective gameplay.
Now Alistander on this bottom side, just, farming up Krugs as well, able to steal dragons, or it's just Quaggart who takes the dragon there with the chomp as well, and Alistander just counter jungling as well. It's almost complete map control here coming through from DPS in this early game, and I'm curious to see how MG Element are able to bounce back in the later stages. Speaking of which, out of blue, just Alistander going under tower, just no fear and taking that play. Late game carry, though, going to come over the wall with the quickness. Alistander going to have to be careful, gets ignited. Don't think that's enough damage. Out of blue, forced all the way back with the ace in the hole, though.
Last time Alibu was half health. I was like, you know what? Maybe I don't want to push with Ace in the Hole coming down upon me. Good Ace in the Hole from Caitlyn to kind of discourage Out of Blue from walking up there.
And now Talus is just sort of at the
Look
edge
at them. Look at how they
vision.
push forward their vision.
Yeah,
They are playing with their lead so well. They're just taking over map control. This is just excellent macro, and just like objective gameplay by DPS. I keep saying that, but
It's a clinic.
It's just right. It's just really well done.
It's a clinic put on thus far.
This is the way to play League of Legends. Winning League of Legends. Yeah. This is beautiful league right here.
However, they might be a little bit overextended here. You can see the trap put down nearby connection. Gets the black shield, gets thrown back.
The black shield.
Some kiss there. Fierce Sparrow not going to be getting out of this one alive. Will end up being sacrificed to the forest. Is that B? Your bad connection now hit with the Hextech ultimatum. Oh my goodness. Talus deals a lot of damage to return a kill onto the Camille, but will be finally taken down. It's a shutdown. It's a 3-for-1 in favor of MG Element. We said that their comp really excels in these team fights, and they finally find one, and it works out in their favor.
Yeah, and that's something else too. DPS has managed to do all this macro stuff and these objective stuff without really getting into a major team fight. Like, they haven't had to win team fight. They just kind of get their picks and like grab the objective off of that and make the rotations. So they've managed to avoid team fighting for the most part, which is also like kind of really hard to do sometimes. That's well done. But they get into a team fight there, and that's gonna show.
Oh, you can just see Alistander trying to outplay this one. King Annihilator still waiting on that ultimate.
Oh my god!
Dodges out from it. That's the skill expression that I was talking about. And Alistander, despite not picking up a kill, burns both summoners off of King Annihilator.
That turn was so nice.
Ultimate, burns the Rakan ultimate, all for just the Vanguard's edge. It's super well played.
Yeah.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
And there's some menaces farming down there. And it's just like forcing people to come and try to answer Irelia and just outplaying them or just survive. Not even necessarily getting killed, but just wasting their time while his team continues to take more of the map.
Yeah, continuing to push forward more objectives as it may be. And, you know, now on this top side, Quagger just baiting this out. It looks like a 2v1, but ends up becoming a 4v3 very quickly. Talus takes down Venom. Next on the chopping block is the Zac out of blue, and late game carry are just too late. And despite your back connection going to find the kill onto Runner 90 as well, you can just see this route lasts forever onto out of blue as well because of the Everfrost on top of it. More towers going in favor of DPS as they continue to control the map.
Yeah, and Cassiopeia was stuck bot lane answering to the push, but does not have teleport available. Unlike Alistander, so it wasn't really able to be there to make it a full team fight. And that's just going to be another one objective. 4 towers to 1 by DPS. Up 1 kill, but up 5k.
Yeah, they're just going to keep going for these neutrals.
And everything. Yeah.
They've had absolute control over these neutral objectives this entire game, taking towers, taking objectives. Quagger going to try and chomp down on this Rift Herald as well. Yep, there you go. And Quagger's just been able to stack up this feast slowly but surely. I want to take a look at how many stacks they've got. That is a healthy 7 with still 2 minions to go. So they still got another couple for free in that sense. Really curious to see how Quagger sort of fits into this game as time progresses, because as you can see, the Divine Sunder is now complete on the Camille. It's going to be hard for them to sit in a lane with this Camille for an extended period of time. It's just
but they could have Alistander do it instead.
They can have Alistander do it. They can have Quagger go up against the Cassiopeia in a lot of ways. They can just move around their resources so well, and it feels like every single neutral objective has just gone in favor of the side of DPS, apart from one single tower that they've given up in that mid lane of a little bit of a bad fight. But Fierce Sparrow there just using that black shield so well. You can see late game carry has to be super careful. It is a 5v3 around this dragon right now, but Pincer may come through. Fierce Sparrow has to be careful. Knock up from Venom here. Going to get stunned up. Going to get rooted up. Venom cannot move. Alistander all the way in the backline. It's all but it's grounded up. King Annihilator going to find a kill there. But here comes the Crow Storm.
Oh my god, the Crow Storm.
So much damage to everyone. It's a double kill coming through for the Cho'Gath from Quagger as well. Finds another champion to chomp on as well. And Quagger just going to drop down this Rift Herald, continue to push forward, and this Cho'Gath, this Fiddlesticks are working on all cylinders.
That team fight for a second looked like it could be MG Elements, but yeah, that
They
was
get an
turned
inhibitor on
around there.
this.
Beautiful. Oh my god.
There's so many charges coming through from this second Rift Herald as well, opening up the base of MG Element. You know, only 4 kills in the lead, but 3 dragons up 5 towers, up 7,500 gold as it stands right now. And DPS, they're looking poised to just potentially sweep away MG Element. They're looking real good.
They are. This game too. This is they're playing different styles. Too. This is not the same like just better team fighting style that they had the first game. This is pretty much the style that MG Element tried to play last game, but then it wasn't as successful.
It's really well played, I think, overall. I think especially with how they've been sort of just controlling the map, it's really scary for MG Element because last game it wasn't a huge early game lead. It was just a couple of missteps in that mid game that led to the victory for DPS. But now DPS, they've controlled the early game. They've controlled the mid game here. They're now just going for a Baron once again, 21.5 minutes in, and there's no contest coming through. There's no way that Runner 90 can get there in time. Late game carried out of blue. They're late to even recognize that this is happening. This is just going to get secured, and Quaggart getting even more fee stacks.
Yup. Objective bounties are available. If they can get any objectives.
Yes, and that's sort of the key at this point.
That's hard.
You have to start to collect some of these objectives if you're going to try and find a way back into this game to get those bounties. And
they're down 7k. It's so hard.
They're down 8k at this point. Fierce Sparrow, though, might be caught out, forced to flash away, but here comes Talos over the wall. 4-man Crowstorm in the middle of everyone, goes golden. So much damage from this Fiddlesticks. It's just a wash. King Annihilator's the only one alive, and they look poised to go down to the forces that may be. It's a 5-for-1 ace, and this should be the game for DPS.
Yeah, that's a really rough fight there. If they're even on gold, maybe that fight could go in favor of MGE there.
It's really.
But they're simply not. They're simply not. Yeah, they're simply just not even on gold at all.
Regardless, here they're gonna just stand around in the Nexus in the fountain there before they end up cleaning up that victory. Well played to DPS as they go on match point.
And yeah, on to Matt's point. What can MG Element do? Well, let me not try to make any predictions. Let's just see what they do. We'll see in the game 3 draft.
We'll have to keep our eyes on that because honestly, just a super well-rounded game coming through from DPS, and honestly, it's really hard to find them at fault for anything there. They were just able to execute on their comp really well, and apart from one fight where they lost a couple of extra members, they overstayed a little bit. It was just super clean overall.
Yep, that's I would not like to be in MG Element spot right now, but we'll see if they have some tech. Maybe they have something. We were saying they don't want to show your hand. Well, at this point, it's time. If you have anything to show, it's time to show your hand. If they do have any strategy, then that they've been kind of holding out on, then it's the time to. If you're on the match point, it's time.
Time to bring it out from the ashes in a lot of ways, and we'll see if MG Element are able to resurrect their finals winning ways in a lot of ways with a victory here, or if it will just be DPS dominating as they have the entire season. We're going to head to a break. When we're back, we'll find out if DPS can complete the sweep. welcome back, everyone, as we get into our Game 3 draft here. RareAdam alongside Ito once again as DPS looking to secure themselves the Season 12 Finals crown here. And Ito, they've been on fire thus far today.
They really have. They really have. And doing it in different styles, too. More of like a team fighty style and like the solid team fights. And then the solo lanes just beating the attempt at the solo lane game plan from MG Element in game 1, and then last game just doing the solo lane thing without avoiding team fights, but just playing an incredible macro game. Just incredible objective gameplay. They didn't exactly win a whole lot of huge team fights to get their lead, but they just won by objectives. They won by pushing out bot lane, getting the turrets, and just gaining map control with every single advantage that they got, every single kill that they got, every single tower they took. They just took more map of the map control. They just pushed their vision forward, and they just used that to just objectively dominate. And I think that was just, I don't know, that was just really well played. That was a clinic. We kept saying that was just an absolute clinic on how to play winning League of Legends by DPS last. So really, I think they just so that they can really play a wide variety of things. And we see an interesting pick immediately here. I think Zillion Jin. That is something else. That is some spice.
It's definitely an interesting bot lane combo because it gives you the agency to just speed up this Jhin who already gets a lot of movement speed just to be able to run up and like fourth shot the likes of anyone at that point.
Right.
But you can see some interesting picks on the flip side as well. The Lulu Kai'Sa already picked up. Curious to see where this Kai'Sa goes because AP Kai'Sa did get nerfed. They sort of just rearranged where her damage is. It's more her AP damage is more on her passive now as opposed to just on her W.
Oh, Zoe's back.
Oh, Zoe's back, yeah, and
Zoe's back in round. They pick him in the first phase of banning, so it does not get banned away. Go ahead and confidently blind picking the Mordekaiser here from MG Element. Could be something a little bit different there in the top lane for Venom. And we saw the Camille and the Fiora in games 2 and 1.
I think
Mordekaiser would be something else.
It's definitely a chance for this Mordekaiser to sort of exist on the top side. And it's something that Venom has pulled out in the past as well. This Mordekaiser was played to great effect against Team Ishtar. I want to see what these teams what MG Element can do to sort of change the pacing of the game. And, you know, you see these bans coming against Talus and Quaggart this time around. They are on blue side, so there's no counter pick available for DPS. They've already got a little bit of a mismatch here. They can pick up their mid laner here and get a counter in the jungle if they want. I want to see what they bring out as the spice for King Annihilator here because we've seen their LeBlanc duel. It's banned. Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay, we'll get it now. All right, so we are going to get the jungle pick last. The Zed from King Annihilator. I like him. Okay.
The Zed is definitely a very spicy pick. A lot of agency on that champion to push your advantages as far as you want. And I think that it's
skill expression.
It's a lot of skill expression once again. Yes.
Yeah. And I tend to back away from things that are so dependent on skill expression and competitive play, but I'm also not King Annihilator, so like, I mean, if you can do it, I mean, if it works out, it works out.
If it works in your favor.
It gets such a skillful laner too, because Alistander is also very skilled, so it's even harder, I think, to really like playing Zed against me, playing Zed against Alistander are two different things. Like I die to Zed all the time, but
yeah, I think that you've definitely got some real strong agency when you've got a pick like a Zac to sort of pop off. But interesting, Talus.
Oh boy. Basically
just keeps taking the enemy jungler away. Just like, you know what? You played Zac last game. I'm going to play Zac this game. And it's... I want to say it's almost an ego play, but at the same time, it's really good. It's been working out really well for them thus far. But we'll see what the last pickup is going to be. Seems to be the Kayn coming through, and this is a different champion that we haven't... I think we've seen it at Runner 90 a couple times, but definitely not at the front of what everyone is expecting to see. So curious to see how this Kayn matches up. Realistically,
very different.
has
All
to
these
be a
champions are new from
Yeah.
MG Element. At least for this series. These are all this is definitely shaking it up, trying something here for game 3, game point, match point, season point. This could be the championship or not here for DPS. We'll see how it all plays out.
Yeah, and of course, all of these teams are very, very ready to start. Game chat was going by incredibly quickly with all of the R's imaginable there, but I am incredibly curious to see how this game turns out for MG Element, because it's a very different look, and I think we have to start by looking at the Kayn pickup here. This Kayn is going to have some interesting targets to look for. There's melee on the top side, but a lot of ranged squishies on the bottom side of the map. Do you see red Kayn or blue Kayn in this? Do you think it's going to be blue Kayn, or are we in for a, or are we just going to come in for a?
So no, it has to be red.
You think it has to be
It
red?
has to be red. I mean, there's a Zack and Horn. It has to be red, right? You already got. If you want to assassinate, if you already got Zed to assassinate the squishies, and you're dealing with the Lulu, so it has to be red. If it's blue, I'd be very, 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 very surprised. Because I mean, how's he going to farm PS to get Kai'Sa and Zoe?
It's interesting, I think. That's a terrifying benefit, by the way.
Right? Yeah.
I'm really curious to see what this Kayn goes for, because it'll most likely be indicative through the runes. We might see Conqueror to sort of hide that, but usually Dark Harvest for a strike goes for blue Kayn. Usually Conquerors are more for red Kayn or something along those lines. So I am really curious to see what comes out, because it
should be the choice. Do you think that they are both equally viable in this game?
I think both of them can exist in this game. I think that blue Kayn is better right now, if I'm being honest. But realistically, there's still a lot that you can gain or garner out of going red Kayn this game, as well as sort of a frontline bruiser in that sense as well.
I come from a time of League where there was a time where blue Kayn was almost felt like Christian Cup almost felt like troll compared to red Kayn. Red Kayn was just so much better. So be interested to see a blue Kayn, but I personally like to see red Kayns on my team. Certainly, unless someone is just like absolutely popular, like you gotta be hot and off for me to prefer blue Kayn over red.
I mean, I think that
So much utility to get the red Kayn to team fight the tankiness, the lifesteals, the knockdown.
I think it's going to be very interesting to see what form this Kayn goes for. I think maybe considering you've got a Zed already, you might go for the red Kayn, but we'll have to find out what MG Element have in store, because their backs are up against the wall. You've got to be so careful in this game. But what we're going to do, we're going to head to a break, and after this, we'll find out if DPS are going to walk away with the crown or if MG Element will make things interesting. welcome everyone back to the Rift here for our BTL Finals Game 3 between DPS and MG Element. DPS looking to secure themselves the sweep, whereas MG Element looking to ruin a little bit of their momentum here. RareAdam alongside Ito once again, as level 1 shenanigans have been the name of the game for DPS thus far. Let's find out if they can find anything successful this time around. Remember, last time a Zoe bubble over the wall landed and it almost led to a first blood. Will they be able to find that onto late game carry? Lots of damage going down onto the Zillion. Oh my goodness, the flash W is almost enough. Late game carry going to be forced to flash away.
Well, trade a cast flash for Zillion flash. Zillion lives. Did get that information. Did get the ward down. This is the situation that Zoe stole blue game 1. Does Kane even start there though?
Kane probably won't even start there this
Yeah,
time around.
Kane is like, yeah, they push. He got the ward down. Let's not even mess with it. Let's not even mess with it.
It's sort of a you don't expect them to stick around for that one. I think it's sort of a known fact that they will just start on the opposite side of the map, and you can see Aliskander not even going to bother, just going to stay in lane this time around. Of course, still started the E there, but Talus starting on the red buff here on the Zac. Same for Runner 90. We'll see how they start to path, but Runner 90 taking the first strike, very likely going to be a blue Kane game.
Blue Kane, huh?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, we can see. I don't want to judge before I see anything. I mean, I just prefer red Kane, but that may just be old things. That may just be how it used to be. Personally, I love Zillion as a champion. Zillion's one of my favorite champions. I love playing Zillion. I love to see Zillions do well whenever I do see Zillion. So I'm looking forward to see Zillion support how he does here with this Jhin. I do know Zillion with Jhin can be pretty good. Jhin does like to have that attack speed. Does help him get more of those shots, get into better position. He already has attack speed as part of his kit whenever he crits. So having Zillion around does make him could be like quite the late game monster if you get like a powerful Jhin late with all that movement speed. Ooh, look at Quaker with the can't move me breath. Yeah. Can't think of the word unstoppable.
The Bellows breath, yes.
Yeah, the Bellows breath, yeah.
I'm curious to see how it turns out for them, but thus far, quieter early levels here. I mean, as we say that, very likely that we probably see some action erupting shortly, but I am curious to see what the next stage is for these teams, because, as always, you know, we want to see MG Element here sort of show us their best, and if this is what they've been sort of hiding in the back pocket for a Game 3 situation like this, let's see how it does. I'm curious to see how it does here. Oh, but you know, on the bottom side of the map here, Runner 90 coming down, trying to pick up some orbs, but out of blue might be the one who's out of health very soon. Your bad connection, and then take a Zillion bomb, but it does force out the exhaust and the ignite. Both summoners down for out of blue as Fierce Barrel flashes forward, says that's my first blood, drops the laugh, drops the mastery, everything being thrown at this Jhin as first blood goes over to Fierce Sparrow. Oh. Runner 90 has come back.
This could be how you farm for blue
like
Kane right
carry
here.
Though. Oh my goodness, not going to be able to clean that one up. It is returned though, a kill going down, but now King Annihilator in trouble. Tal's going to get that with the last auto attack, and Kaisa on the bottom side, your bad connection, picks up the double kill and the blue buff. They're going to have so many ways to clear this wave now, as out of blue still level 2, not really able to follow up on anything, as this game already favoring DPS up 2,000 gold already.
Yeah. That's a pretty good start for DPS. Not what you want to see on the side of MG Elements, but I would say, hey, King got some blue orbs. That is what he's looking for.
And lots of blue orbs actually in favor of Kane. One thing I still have to complain about is there's no indicator of when they're going to get form on the bar, and it's really annoying. It's tough. It's really tough when that happens.
We just know at some point.
And Venom and Quaggart here on this top side going at it. Actually, Quaggart winning out on this train. Venom has to be really careful here. Might have to burn the flash. Has the shield available. Ooh, forced to flash away from that last auto attack, not knowing what Quaggart was going to pull out. But yeah, MG Element, they're definitely out of their element in this game.
Oh.
Ooh, Quaggart, though, now in a little bit of trouble. Might not be as many. Ooh, the Shurikens miss, but Runner 90 going to find couple more orbs for their trouble on the top side. They are red orbs, though. Will be able to pick up their second kill of the game. Fear Sparrow, though, continuously just putting down the hurt out of blue. Always forced way off of these plays. It's a struggle.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's any way I can find any indication of how much of which he has. How many of red or blue he has, but yeah. Guess not. There's a fight here in the jungle. More red.
A little bit
he's in trouble.
of a trouble situation. Runner 90 looking to try and get out of here. Has the blast cone, has to be careful, flashing away. Oh my goodness, Talus is able to follow it over. Will try and get some healing out of the wall, but Talus with the auto attacks, with the unstable matter, will try and find it as well. Oh my goodness,
right
level
now.
6 though. Runner 90's got to be careful.
Dead.
Nah,
Yeah.
Quaggart will be able to clean that one up at the end of the day. But yeah, we can see that DPS continuously pushing forward their advantages, staying in control of the game. Meanwhile, King Annihilator, though, coming down to the bottom side. Fear Sparrow has to be careful. King Annihilator is down here, gets exhausted. Actually, King Annihilator might be taken down.
Oh my
Fear
God.
Sparrow finds the kill.
No.
Will not go down to the Deathmark either. Somehow this Lulu stays alive, and now Your Bad Connection moving forward for more damage. Flashes away from the Deadly Flourish. Do they have enough? Oh, the bomb
goes to
will
Zillion.
land, and unfortunately not enough to take down out of blue, but on this top side, once again, Quaggart and Venom going at it. Oh, is able to dodge away from the ultimate with the W.
That's
Quaggart,
crazy!
what was
Wait,
that?
that's crazy!
Heck?
I didn't even realize that's what just happened. That is crazy!
Oh, and finally, they're going to be able to find Fear Sparrow. Kane comes down to the bottom side, and that's
the
gonna...
Ornn mechanics.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, and he's gonna get the kill to boot.
And Venom now in trouble. Tal's gonna
Oh
come
my
through and
goodness.
steal that one away, but
That
my
is crazy.
goodness.
Clip
Quaggart.
that. Clip that.
Great play. And now Alistander in the mid lane here. King Annihilator's got to be careful. Don't think Aliskander's going to go for the kill, but under 100 health here on the Zed. Needs to be incredibly cautious about where they trod. This game is crazy. I mean, already we've got so much action going on. It's been quite a wild ride. Fear Sparrow, though, got a lot of health, honestly, already built up on the Lulu. They're going to be really difficult to take down. It's not like Lulu's just a champion where you roll over and die every single time. You've got a lot of ways to stay alive, and thus far that's exactly what we've seen. But double bomb going to land on a Fear Sparrow into the Deadly Flourish. Now Curtain Call going to come through. Fear Sparrow flashing away from Runner 90, moving forward. Of note, it is Blue Cane already complete for Runner 90, so they're going to be looking to exert their will over the map here. Very curious to see how this goes through.
Here's a engage.
Yeah, engage, though, on the bottom side as Talus goes forward. Out of blue here as well. He's going to try and pull back the late game carry, but now Talus in trouble. Let's Bounce comes through. Staying alive for a long time. The passive may be able to get defended here by the other members. Out of blue doesn't really want to walk forward, but Your Bad Connection, Fear Sparrow, Talus on this bottom side of the map. Now Alistander coming through to sort of support the situation. Runner 90, though, able to find some damage onto Alistander. Late game carry, going to find their second kill of the game. Now Talus in a little bit of trouble. Going to make Zillion and Zed kiss, but unfortunately not going to be enough as MG Element starting to find some ways back into the happen. Now Kith. Yes, exactly.
Well, That could be a dragon here for MG Element. Is this their first dragon of the series?
This is the no, this isn't their first dragon of the series. This is just
okay. Yeah, no, yeah, they got some in game 1.
yeah. This is their
Game
first
2 they did
dragon
not.
of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
series, if we want to put it that
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, finally able to collect that for themselves, but of course we've got
That
to keep.
recall animation's so cool from Mordekaiser. He just like walks down that staircase.
Yeah, just wait until High Noon Mordekaiser comes through. That skin looks insane. It looks sick. It looks so good already. I'm curious to see how that one pans out.
Love that Mordekaiser could look cool now after he went so long with the pizza feet.
Yeah, for the longest time, just looked
Yeah.
really bad, right? So we'll see how it turns out. But of course, for the time being, it's still a rather strong gold lead in favor of DPS, and it's to be expected. They have incredibly strong ways to push these advantages forward always.
I just realized the CS advantage in the mid lane is wild. Yeah.
And that's where a lot of that gold lead's coming from. A lot from CS, because in general, the game is pretty even. Alexander, though, going to dodge away from a whole bunch, but will not be able to.
Oh my God,
never mind.
Alexander lives. See, like I said, I die in that situation. There's no way I live. Alexander is a monster, a beast.
Yeah, able to stay alive by a sliver, and it's really well played. I think that it's.
Oh, blue cane, though.
I'm baffled. I'm baffled in that sense.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but we'll get run off by Zach, it seems.
It's this.
I guess direct the camera really wants us to watch this.
Yeah,
top
direct
lane,
the camera
but-
wants us to watch
okay.
top lane. That's just always how it is. Anytime there's more than like 100 damage traded between top laners, they want us to look there. And
Like, you gotta watch it.
yeah, and even in the mid lane here, Alexander just sort of existing, just farming, and they want us to watch this because apparently maybe something will happen here. Sleepy Trouble not going to land. King Annihilator joining in. Wild Growth comes down as well. Runner 90 able to land. Reaping a slash, but unfortunately not going to be quite enough. Ignite drop. Yeah, but Talus is here as well.
Can they make
This is
something
a
out of it?
stretching strike, going to go for the let's bounce as well. Late game carry, staying alive. Runner 90 not able to re-engage. A teleport from Mordekaiser leaves Quaggart alone on the top side as the play fizzles out.
I think I don't think that teleport was wise, but it's hard to tell. It looks like it's going to be something, ends up not being anything.
Yeah, definitely a very interesting play, but out of blue and your bad connection here on this bottom side of the map. It's Kraken Slayer on the Kai'Sa. This is an interesting option because normally you see the likes of a Gale Force built up, but on the bottom side, Kane going to be ulting in onto the Kai'Sa. But Kai'Sa's done so much damage as well. Runner 90 going to go down after being just a little bit too aggressive, and Ornn on the top side, once again, just able to stay alive.
These Ornn Bellows breaths have been absolutely incredible. Quaggart is really showcasing that's some skill expression on Ornn there. Look at him dancing. He just knows he's just dominating this top. He's down on CS, but but off of just pure swagger.
Yeah, and I think the swagger is something to keep in mind because Quaggart has had a great series thus far. Just building so well for the lane as well. Able to find a kill onto Venom already this game, and while you've got this Prowler's Claw built up on the Kane, you're not really worried. You're just worried about your lane for now. Building the force of nature and just able to exist in this lane. Quaggart does not care about the lane matchup, is always going to be able to exist on these tanks. And, Venom has just had a really tough time dealing with Quaggart, who's just so confident on these tanks as well.
Yeah, Quaggart just stays just playing his games, not going to play into your trying to fight me, trying to make this a 1v1 there. He's trying to play for the team, plays his tanks, and he's just fine.
We'll have to keep our eyes on how that works because playing for the team has worked incredibly well. And on the flip side, Talus here playing the Zaka as well. You've got so much damage on your bottom side of the map that it's really just going to be a 2-carry comp. Granted, Alexander hasn't found a kill quite yet this game, but still creeping ahead of gold here. Your bad connection, though, going to be taking a little bit too much damage. Late game carry has the Resurrect available. Out of blue will finally strike with their first kill of the game. But yeah, in the mid lane, despite the kill in favor of King Annihilator, Alexander has the gold lead.
Yeah, I mean, look at the CS lead is just massively in his favor.
I think that overall we'll see what the next steps are for DPS because this game, it feels winnable for MG Element still. This game hasn't really exploded with as much action as we were accustomed to from these teams. There's still a lot to keep in mind, though. I'm curious to see how it plays out.
Until we have this dragon spawning soon.
Quaggert actually going to move forward. The dragon, as you said, yes, spawning and right on spawn, going to try and be collected up by DPS. Not a whole lot of members in the area. Actually, out of blue forced to flash away. Quaggert, though, going to drop down the Ornhorn onto this. Mordekaiser, Fierce Sparrow will take down out of blue on the bottom side of the map, but now Runner 90 has struck again onto Quaggert. It's going to be an extra kill picked up as King Annihilator finds that one as well, but the dragon goes in favor of DPS. It's a 2-for-1 across the map in favor of MG Element, yes. But DPS, they lose the drag, or they pick up the dragon as their condolences. First tower going to be picked up on the bottom side of the map by this Kaisa. Second tower very likely to fall on the top side, and the third tower going to be picked up in the mid lane by DPS as well. It's just towers dropping all over as the gold really starts to pick up here.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, forcing the
King of that, and then another tower. Yeah.
Just so much pressure around the map coming through from DPS as they continuously look for plays. Talus jumping forward aggressively, looking for something, doesn't find anything there.
Yeah, they're searching for the reconning Zed.
Just looking for something there, but unfortunately not able to find it quite yet. Keep our eyes on what the next big fight is going to be, because realistically, there's Rift Herald available if either of these teams want it. There's a dragon spawning in 4 minutes. There's not a whole lot to fight over right now. It's just sort of a very open map, and it's still a pretty... It's a substantial enough gold lead for DPS here, about 2,500 gold, where it's worth mentioning, right? So
yeah.
I want to see what the next steps are here for this team, because Quaggert's already level 12. They're going to be upgrading these mythic items extremely soon. It's nice to see this Orange just able to survive in this lane.
Yeah, and through a lot of this incredible just Ornn play. Ooh,
yeah, but Fierce Sparrow are going to get caught out once again. Despite
they do catches really well with the Zed and the Zillion and the Jhin.
They've been doing a good job of finding picks on the right members, and that's sort of the power of Jhin, of Kayn, of Zed in a lot of ways. You've got sort of these three. I mean, I can even call Jhin sort of an assassinating carry in a way because of their big crits that they're able to stick out.
Right.
You've got that sort of agency to just pick up anyone that you so desire. Meanwhile, on the top side, Venom might be having to take Quaggert down into the Death Realm for the 1v1. Not able to use the Death Realm quite yet. Here comes Runner 90 as well onto the scene as Quaggert now tries to escape. Ornhorn going to be called down, though, as they try and find the re-engage on to Runner 90. The knockup is going to land, and now Venom going to take Quaggert down into the underground. Venom is able to find the kill over the wall, though, but now up in front of 2 other members. The double kill actually picked up, as that's a kill onto the Lulu. Talus now forced to head for the hills, but your bad connection now going to be joining in. Talus going to re-engage the fight here. Going to be the Zillion ultimate use, but late game carry has flashed over the wall.
My goodness.
Oh my goodness, the damage coming up from this Mordekaiser. They find the 3rd kill of the game. Mordekaiser cannot be stopped. Talus will be able to escape with their life, but my goodness, look at the damage coming through.
Okay, well that was huge for Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser and Zillion really being just a really great duo right there. To really just take all that on, and they're looking for another tower in the mid lane. MG Element fighting back here.
But meanwhile, Alskander just dealing a boatload of damage. Doesn't have the flash now to get out of this one. Yeah, Runner 90 is going to be able to chase them down. Alskander will go golden, but a little bit late, unfortunately, and won't be able to find a way out of that one. Is now MG Element. They've started to claw their way back to even here and looking good for themselves.
Yeah. Now up here, they're in fact even up 400 gold.
Yeah.
Up a little bit, up 4 kills, but the objectives are still getting closer, actually.
It's starting to even out. It's more so just the CS difference in the jungle and in the mid lane now. And realistically, if you look at top lane now, it's not looking so hot for Quaggert now. They are still level 12, and Venom just doing so much damage now. Completed that Nashor's Tooth. They're feeling really confident to sort of take these fights at will. Quaggert not really in a position to be able to survive these for an extended period of time. Granted, it's still going to take a lot for Mordekaiser to take down this Ornn.
Right. But yeah, definitely is able to fight better here.
course, next dragon now spawning in about 25 seconds. It is going to be Cloud Soul this game, not the most fun soul to get on the map, but still one that gives you a lot of movement speed and gives you quicker rotations around the map. On someone like the Zac or someone, you really appreciate having that bonus movement speed after you use your ult to just be able to bounce a little bit quicker. As we say that, Tal's going to be jumping into the back line, lands the stretching strikes, and the less bounce onto 2. Here comes your back connection.
Oh my
Already
goodness.
taken out by the side of DPS. Fear Sparrow, though, is ulted by the Kane with the Umbro Trespass. Venom now trying to tank him as much damage as possible. Out of Scanner trying to stay alive, makes the Kane go drowsy. Actually will find the kill into Runner 90. It's a 3 for 3 in this fight thus far. Venom tries to flash forward there, but Alexander now trying to kite this one out. Oh, pause after the pause. This is awful. This is the worst time for this to happen in the middle of a fight. We should be rejoining shortly, but my goodness, this fight is on the cusp. There we go. The re-engage happens.
Yeah.
Venom. Actually, it's going to be Talus going down as Venom going to try and stay alive as well. Yep, Talus will be the next to fall. Is just a brief pause there before the fighting resumes. Interesting that all that fighting happened right as King Annihilator was having trouble with the connection, but nonetheless,
that sucks.
It
That
sucks.
sucks. I really hate to see it. It's here and there. We got like.
Regardless, as it stands, it's still about an 1,000 gold lead in favor of the side of MG Element, as they are going to try and push forward advantages still. They've got a way back into this game, and DPS in a lot of ways, despite their early lead, they've sort of faltered. They've sort of fallen by the wayside just a little bit. Oh, meanwhile, in the mid lane, though, Aliskander going to be going golden for a brief second. Venom has to go golden as well after the polymorph. It's going to be dragon secured by MG Element, but your bad connection going to be the one to collect that kill for themselves. Get a decent chunk of gold back, and that shutdown just brought them actually right back to even in this game. Now, Baron is a possibility. They can see the Zed on the bottom side of the map. They know Kane's on that bottom side as well. Looks like they might be just starting up a Baron for themselves as well. Oh my goodness, out of blue, though. Will just be eviscerated here. So much damage coming through from Aliskander now.
Oh, those ADC, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But this Baron is so tough. Runner 90 got to try to find a way over the wall. Talus doesn't want to do too much damage. Will they be able to find the smite? No, they won't. As it is, Runner 90 unable to find the smite steal. It's going to be Baron secured by DPS, but Runner 90 now trying to run interference for a little bit. Looks like everyone should be able to escape with their lives as well.
DPS is so good, objectively, and on a macro perspective. They're so good at having gold advantage and objective advantages while being down on kills. This is like not the first time. We've seen DPS do this multiple times this season, where they don't even have the kill advantage, but they just have the advantage in every other aspect, and they don't even need kills. And people are so focused on kills on League of Legends. Maybe that's like a lower elo mentality or something like that.
Yeah, meanwhile, we're going to get some internet connectivity issues. We will...
Oh no, not
back to this.
Not,
This is the worst time for this to happen, especially in finals in a game 3. I mean, we saw it briefly there for a second, but looks like they finally took this lull state to sort of solve everything.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens. I want to see how everything sort of changes from there, because this is a really interesting game state for MG Element, where they sort of have a taste of a gold lead. They've got some really strong points in Venom and Runner here, but at the same time, it's so hard for them to really extend that any further.
Yeah, especially with the carries for DPS coming online here, and having just such the CS advantage that the gold lead. We saw what Aliskander just did to Out of Blue. If things like that are happening, then that's going to make the game very tough. Make the game very, very tough to get back into for sure.
It's going to make things very difficult, and as you were mentioning, it's just about being able to push yourself back into a state where you can take a fight on even footing in a sense, and I want to see what they determine is their even footing in that way, because it can be so difficult for the likes of this Jhin, even this Zed, to stay alive for an extended period of time. And I think that despite King Annihilator having a good performance on the Zed thus far, I don't know if it's enough, especially when you look across the Rift and you see this Zac sitting on 2 armor items, basically. They're incredibly tanky right now. It's so hard to be able to take down that, plus you've got to worry about an Ornn, plus the Lulu ultimate. It's not going to be easy
the
for them
Lulu
to find a kill
ultimate for
to
me
anyone.
is definitely. It's like, oh, this feels like such a tough Zed game. Like, it feels bad. Like, the enemy team's squishy great, but you don't like to see big tanks, and you don't like to see someone that could just make you irrelevant. Like the Lulu, I'm not sure if they picked Zed into Lulu. I think Lulu was already picked and they picked Zed. I think that's just really rough. That's just so tough.
Lulu was first picked here, so.
Yeah, so that makes Zed so tough to play.
Yep, and of course pause after the
We get the
pause.
pause after the pause, of course, yeah.
The usual stuff. We'll see how this turns out, but still, Dragon about 3 minutes away. Baron in favor of DPS. They're going to still have that to aid their pushing power. But yeah, as you were mentioning, Aliscander just pokes out of blue to half health off of 1 paddle fire.
Yeah, that makes the game hard to play right there.
Here's another one
And-
landing
oh
onto the
my
Zillion.
God.
The Zillion's
Oh,
removed
no,
from
he's
contention.
gone! Oh,
He's
where did he
removed.
go?
Old
Where
man
did late game
Zillion.
carry go?
Old
Oh,
man Zillion is
no.
out of the game for the next 30 seconds here. Now they're going to continue pushing down this mid lane. This is something that we've seen before. First Baron, they're just able to find this. Oh my goodness, but into the backline goes Runner 90.
Okay.
Zoe's going to have to go golden.
Zoe's
Here goes
gone.
golden late once again, but oh my goodness, the damage that comes through. And now Zed trying to find a King Annihilator. Trying to ult Talus. That's not enough. That's 3 members down.
Oh,
and now
no.
it's out of blue. And Venom
no.
is in base trying to defend this game. This could be it. Out of blue, force the flash as well. The teleport now coming through from the Mordekaiser. Will they be able to get back in time? They won't get slept up. It will be Talus traded back as Venom teleports out to safety. Now out of blue, late game carry are back alive. Your bad connection is going to be the only one to survive. And Aliscander backing at the end of that play might not have been the right choice. As right as that happened, Venom teleports back to base instead.
Teleporting,
Yeah, it's a little bit of a rough situation there,
They
but
still got a lot. They still got the
Nexus
hammer. They
turret,
still got a Nexus tower. Yeah, they're fine. They're definitely very chilling. They definitely are on the verge of sweeping this finals match.
it's going to be curious to see if anything else develops after that, because I think when you've got these Ornn items as well to upgrade this Kai'Sa, she's going to scale so much harder. You've got so much extra in the tank to be able to scale with. So very curious to see how everything else will come out, because this game is still sort of on a knife's edge in a lot of ways. I want to see if decide,
no.
oh no, King Annihilator's dead.
Oh no, he's gone. Yeah, Zoe thinks, man. They can't. Oh, that makes the game so hard to play. People are just gone. All right, we're gonna go for the inhibitor here.
Yeah,
I mean, if they can get this without losing too much, this is great.
Yeah, and you can see that it's going to force a lot of resets through Runner 90. Should be able to pick that up without too much issue. And look, they've been able to push in that mid lane as well.
Oh my goodness,
They
okay.
can actually take Lulu down. Runner 90 will pick up the inhibitor. Fierce Sparrow staying alive for a long time. No Death Realm available for Venom. Now it's available if they so opt to do so. But Runner 90 getting chased down by Talus in the jungle. It's a pretty big trade here, actually, coming back for MG Element. They're able to pick up the mid-tier 2. Oh my goodness, but your bad connection going into the backline. Found one, found two there. Goes golden. Will be able to dodge away from the Death Realm. It's a double kill for the Kai'Sa. And this is trouble. Look at where that bot lane wave is here. You can see the teleport now coming through from Quaggart. Aliscander has already shoved in that wave and is doing so much damage to these towers. Quaggart should just tank these up. And this is looking a little bit rough. It is Runner 90 and King Annihilator against the world. There's no ultimate on the Zac. There's no ultimate on the Kai'Sa. There's no ultimate on Fierce Sparrow. If they can find a kill and make it stick, it could be the difference, but not looking too hot right now. Gonna find the knock-up onto the Zed here. King Annihilator going to be taken out.
Oh,
It's DPS in the base. 5 versus 2 once again. They find the stun. Will it be enough? It's a kill onto Your Bad Connection, though. Tal is going to get ulted here. Zill has that passive as necessary. Runner 90 trying to find anything they can, but Aliskanders all the way in the base finds a kill onto the Jhin.
No.
Here's a passive coming through, but now Aliskander is trying to take down this Nexus. It's a triple kill picked up by Runner 90, but the side of MG Element will defend Runner 90.
Oh,
with
the
a
Runner 90
slither of health and will be able to stay alive.
Oh my goodness. Hey, they're still alive. They're still alive. The hopes and dreams are still alive, I guess. And they're up on kills. They've been up on kills this whole time. But DPS, they don't care. It doesn't matter. That's not what the game's about.
DPS is just trying to end the game here in a lot of ways. They are trying to find their way to end it. And now open Nexus available will be the next objective. Dragon going to be taken by the side of MG Element. If they can extend this game even another 5-6 minutes here, they can get that soul. It might be their way back into this game, but still, it is on a knife's edge
really
here.
Rough.
It's
and
so
like their
close.
comp does not, Zed is not known for his scaling, especially as they get tankier and stuff. It's just so tough. If Zed cannot take out Aliskander or Your Bad Connection, then what is Zed doing in these fights?
It's going to be tough, and this Zed has had a really good start to this game, but since then, King Annihilator hasn't really been able to find that same oomph that we've been expecting out of them. So very, very curious to see what happens next, but I feel like the next couple of fights are going to be absolutely massive. There's a teleport coming in from Venom.
You can't let them get that Baron. That Baron is definitely the end of the game.
Inhibitor is going to be respawning as well in the mid lane. There's still a couple more minutes on that bot lane inhibitor to speak of, but you know, with this base wide open, it's almost as if
I wonder if
my goodness, if Your Bad Connection just going to jump into the back line here, going to get ulted by the Kane, but has the Guardian Angel to stay alive. Now it is Operation Defend Kai'Sa, but look at Quaker doing so much damage to King Annihilator as well. Venom has taken down Quaker into the death realm as well. Finds the knockup here. Can Quaker stay alive?
Somebody
will
small health bars.
Venom. No, health bars are so low. Out of blue is having to force all the way back. Won't be hit, but Your Bad Connection now trying to dodge away from Runner 90. There's no ultimate available. No Umbral Trespass on the Kane here. They are so scared. It's a one-for-one. Top laner for top laner is now. They might turn their attention over towards this Baron. There's a huge wave knocking at the door, and you can see how many members are back in base. It's going to be up to Runner 90 to try and steal this away, but Aliskander here. Runner 90 is in trouble. Going to try and find the Fierce Baron, but gets taken down as well. The Kane is gone. It's still Baron. Aggroed for DPS. They found the extra kill, and they will be able to secure themselves the Baron.
Imagine, I saw Zilly running up. Imagine how crazy it would be if we saw Zillion double bomb spill. That would have been the craziest thing I've probably ever seen. There's been a lot of crazy things, but yeah, this is really rough for MG Element here. They are fighting, though. Are they fighting to stay alive?
They're doing their best to stay alive.
They are doing their best.
As much as they can.
Right.
It's just really tough to contest what the side of DPS are doing. They're just continuously pushing forward. And MG Element, they're holding on by a sliver here. Meanwhile, okay, never mind. Late Game Carry's gone.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
That's a lot of damage.
Zillion go. Oh no. Yeah, this Zoe's an absolute menace. This should have never been allowed to happen.
Meanwhile, here comes the jump in. Talus now trying to force an end to this game. They're going to try and take down this middle inhibitor. Keep in mind, there's still an open Nexus. Venom going to take down Your Bad Connection into the Death Realm here, but Your Bad Connection might actually win down there. Venom trying to win it. Wow, Venom's actually going to win that in the end, but it might not matter. Aliskander's on the Nexus already, trying to take down out of blue. He has taken down out of blue. This might just be the game. Aliskander is already autoing down the Nexus here. It's only Runner 90 in the area. Oh my goodness, Aliskander finds the kill into Runner 90. Late game carry. Oh, the double bomb will land. Will it be enough damage? Go golden as well. DPS are going to be your Season 12 BTL champions as they take down MG Element in 3-0 fashion.
DPS. DPS, what a dominating performance for DPS throughout the entire season. And this is incredible because I was saying DPS, they didn't know, like, for the most part, they didn't know each other before the BTL season started. Like, they started off as a team of free agents that just
Yeah.
put themselves together. So that's absolutely incredible to see them go and make the epic run. The come, not a comeback. They just dominated all season. Absolutely
Yeah.
incredible individual play, and just better than LCS says barbecue. Hell yeah, that was super entertaining, and
Wow.
just textbook there from DPS.
Really well played. Just to be able to sort of finish that one up and sort of take the series by storm, take the league by storm in a lot of ways. They only
Right.
lost one series
Hmm.
to Team Ishtar, and they lost a game to Trebuchet in week 2. And other than that, they had what was a effectively spotless series. It was incredible to see what they could come through with, and in a lot of ways, just a really interesting end to the season, but also very fitting knowing DPS. They just swept their way through finals. 3-0 last week, 3-0 this week, and here they are.
Yep. It's not much, but this absolute domination. There's not much more you can really say.
Yeah.
Besides that, it's very well done. I think they deserved it. I think they played not just as individuals, but I think they played really well together as a team. Their objective gameplay. They had some star performances, of course, from like Alistander and Your Bad Connection. Both played very well individually throughout the entire season. I think if there's like some votes for MVP or some votes for All Stars, which we will be, I'll try to tackle that tomorrow. Or maybe later today, I'll try to figure out how we can do the voting for that. I would like to do MVP and All Stars. What we've done before in the past, we would have the top 2 from every role. Or we'd like to have the top 3, and then we'll do like a best of 3 match where we'll have like the 2 top vote getters draft the rest of their team, and then we would have them compete. And the winner gets like $10 of RP, something like that. Just have an all-star week. We'll just have some fun with it. Maybe we'll do 1v1 tournaments. I do miss our 1v1 tournaments. Those used to be a lot of fun too. Have you ever like casted or like done 1v1 tournament?
I have casted 1v1 tournaments. They're pretty fun.
Yeah, yeah. We actually do 1v1 tournaments on the Summoner's Rift and mid lane. We've done that like 3 or 4 times, I think. Those would be very interesting to see who is the top 1v1er, and it's typically who you would guess would be near the top. That usually it's like the solo laners or the ADCs from like the top teams end up being making it to the end. But it's a very hard to win a 1v1 tournament if you have like significant amount of people. We did like double elimination tournament with like 32 people, something like that. That's actually very hard. So it's very impressive to see someone just like go all the way through that without dropping a single match.
Yeah, but honestly, congratulations to DPS for what was a magnificent series for them. They just came out in spades in a lot of ways and just almost
Hmm.
just ran the entire league, and very cool to see. And any final things for the season,
Exactly.
Ito?
Boy, final things for the season. It was a good season. I think our season 11 was kind of like there was some unfortunate stuff. A lot of teams dropped out. We didn't really end the season with as many teams, and season 11 was kind of a mess for us. So I think I really appreciate everyone that came through in season 12. I think all the teams did a very great job. I appreciate that everyone kind of stuck through it. And we had a lot of good games. I remember even like we started off on a banger from like the first few games of the season. We were like, "Oh, these teams are really here to play." A lot of entertaining play. I think everything looked good. Shout out to our sponsor, Speed Robo Games. You can see that there. It's our first time having a sponsor. You should check out their website at speedrobogames.com. They make card games. This is one of my friends from high school hit me up asking if we wanted to do a sponsorship with him, and you could check out his card games. I believe they just released an expansion on April 30th. If you are into CCGs, then you should definitely check them out at speedrobogames.com. I have a lot of I have to field a lot of questions. What are we doing in our off-season events? Are we doing another Valorant tournament? Are we ever doing another TFT tournament? The 1v1 tournament? The draft tournament? When are we starting? Are we doing a summer split? When are we starting? Blah 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 blah. Okay, I hear them. I see all the questions. I'll field them over time. I don't have answers for all those questions yet. We'll see. We'll gauge interest. Typically, interest will be the biggest influencer of what we actually do, what I actually do. We do. I am looking for also. I'm probably gonna be making more of an announcement for this. But I'm looking for more help on staff. I think a lot of these things are. We do have a dwindled staff. And a lot of these things are more possible or more easily possible if we do have more staff members. So if anyone would like to get into the world of amateur esports and figure out how we do stuff here, I can teach everything that we do from the top to the bottom. If anyone is interested in helping out, that would be greatly appreciated. And just congratulations to DPS and like Alice Gander and as someone who's played in BTL for a very long time. I'm not sure if he's won before. I'm not sure. We can ask him.
If you want, we
Is
can grab one.
should we? Yeah. I guess we can get Alice Gander and I'll probably get their team captain and Alice Gander in here so he can move your bad connection, and I'll also kidnap Alice Gander. Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll kidnap these two. Probably, it's. I mean, if anyone deserves to have an interview, it's probably the champions of the season. So we got team captain, your bad connection, and star mid laner Alice Skander up here in the booth. What is good? Congratulations on your win.
Yeah, thanks. It was kind of short. I expected it to be a little longer, but it's whatever.
The match between MG Elements. Yeah. I what did I expect? I think game one made me expect that it would go longer. Although you won game one pretty commandingly at the end, it was really back and forth. There was a lot of kills. It was kind of more of a competitive game, I would say. But then game two made me think it probably was going to be a sweep, just personally. I'm not sure if you guys had the
Yeah,
same feeling there or like,
yeah, they kept giving us like our good champions, so like we just kept
yeah,
winning draft. Like, but then again, to be fair, like you can't really ban us out because we just have too many champs that we can play. Especially like Alexander here, he has like a champion Ocean.
yeah,
Hello.
You can never ban this guy out. You can't ban me out. You can't
yeah.
ban.
If you were to ban anything, it seems like you would look at his profile and probably ban Zoe. But
Yeah, probably, but yeah, people don't do that often. So
yeah, I
very
guess it's like hard to
unappreciated.
look at Zoe because you like rarely see Zoe. I think in most like a lot of competitive. To look at Zoe, you're like, we should ban Zoe. It just feels like there's probably better bans than Zoe, but if you just get destroyed by Zoe, then it feels like maybe you should ban it.
Yeah.
But yeah, any thoughts? So I was saying that you guys started out as not really so like you and Alice Gander, for example, you guys didn't know each other before like week one, right?
Right.
Yeah, no, we were free agents.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say that this team specifically, it's like rare to see a team of people that don't really know each other coming into the season. I'm not sure if you're friends with some. I know you guys brought in some other people. I'm not
Hmm.
sure if you were previously friends with some of the other people on your team. But from what I know, you guys were free agents coming into like right before we started week one. You guys did not have a team, and you decided to just put together a team like who was on the free agent list, and that that you kind of hit the ground running. I think you guys seem to have a lot of cohesion and teamwork, like starting from the beginning, and he just kind of won all the way through.
Yeah, I think our team's really good because we just all like think very similarly.
Mhm.
One thing that you'll see the other teams do is that they don't know what they're doing, or if they do, like other people want to do it their way, and then you end
Right,
up like, yeah, it looks really messy. With our team, like we all like put inputs in like what we want to do, but like when we do something, we do it like together and like cohesively, right?
right.
That's like the main difference. And also like we just all know our roles. Like,
Hmm.
like that's like the really important part. Other people, like other teams, you have people trying to do like their thing. They don't know their role in the game. So that's what differentiates us from the rest. And we practice a lot too.
Oh, do you? Yeah. Okay. I was gonna ask about
Yeah.
that. I was gonna ask about like how much did you actually practice or scrim this season. I was just gonna ask about shot calling. So like you were saying, like who's the main shot caller, but you guys just kind of like all like have like some part of it. Like who's like the main decision maker? Because I was like saying you guys do seem to make like that's very important. You guys seem to make snappy decisions, or whenever you decide to do something, you guys all decide on it. I think that's very important in competitive league in general. It's not really so important. I say this all the time. It's not so important what the correct call is. It's more important that everyone agrees on whatever the call is. So you just do it. And I saw
Yeah.
for example, like your 20-minute bear and stuff like that. Whenever you guys do a bear in placing, like you guys are very decisive and cohesive on that. So is there a singular shot caller, or is it just like everyone just
I
agrees?
think it's like everyone puts in their input, like I said, but I mean, I would say that if we're like saying main, it would either be me or Alice Gander, and
Okay.
Quaker too. Like Quaker has like a lot of good calls too. I think
Okay.
really how we work is like one guy makes like an initial
Like idea.
like idea, and then like the other two will be like yeah, okay, or no, and then we just like default to like the just like doing something else in. We don't just like sit there and not know what we're doing. We always like instantly know what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
RareAdam, do you have anything to say here to these champions? Yeah. Talos has been a character. Yeah, we talked
Yeah,
about the
we'll
next split.
definitely try. I don't actually know what's gonna happen with everybody. I
Mhm.
definitely want to play again and I just like win again, obviously, but I don't
Oh,
actually know what's
RareAdam
gonna
muted.
happen.
Oh,
Um,
RareAdam, you're muted, by the way, on stream. Yeah, people are saying that they can't hear you. They heard me talk to you and then said, by the way, we can't hear them. The people want to
I
hear.
am not
hello.
muted. Hello. I shouldn't be muted now. But what I said
Okay,
is I
cool.
just hope to see DPS come back next year. That is my hope.
Yeah, we'll try. I mean, we want the summer split to be like a
Yeah, I
thing.
know. I've I've seen the general chat, a lot of chatter
Yeah,
about the summer split. So like full disclosure, like we lost like the staff is dwindled. So I was like, I mean, we'll do a summer split, but I am going to try to beef up the staff again. I do want to try to
yeah,
refill up the staff we had. So it's like in terms of like the season commentary, great season, mostly drama free, except for the really dramatic like weekend that we had around Gauntlet. That whole
yeah,
thing, I still don't really understand why that all went down that way. I can't really speak much to it, but that did happen. That was unfortunate. That's like kind of like the one like blip I would say that I had on the season was that didn't happen was things would have went a different way there. But other than that, everything else went really smoothly. I was very happy with that. So in terms of a summer split, I probably guesstimate if there was to be one, we would try to do one like because it's hard for me because I would like to do either way. We usually have a split like a fall split that would
yeah,
start around like August, September, that so we can finish by November before the end of the season. We usually do one then. If we do a summer split, that would be like if we wanted to still have that fall split, we need to start by like maybe I'm thinking maybe July, early mid
yeah.
July,
We
maybe,
would have
and
to
then like
start
two,
Me
three
too.
months.
beginning of
Yeah.
June almost.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would.
beginning of June is rougher because that's more soon. If we're gonna do these other events too, so if we're gonna do like a 1v1 tournament, TFT, Legends of Runeterra, or Valorant, or the draft tournaments, if we try to do those type of stuff, then those all usually need like a separate weekend, and then so it'd be hard to also just straight up. It'd be nice to a few weekends off. We could have a few weekends off and kind of re-coordinate, especially whenever we have a new season. We need some time to like talk about what we want to change, talk about how many teams you want to do, gather the teams, and like make sure that we have like staff to like actually make the season go like kind of smoothly. So
Yeah,
if I was to guesstimate off of my own, like what I'm thinking right now, if I wanted to shoot for a summer split, I'd probably be shooting like mid July. I'm also like moving this summer, most likely moving out, and I had to like figure all that out. So my time may
yeah.
not be as available. So there's stuff, but we'll talk about. I'll always talk about it. I always try to be as candidly open as I can about the decision making and the stuff that's going on in BTL. We'll talk about suggestions, ideas, and stuff like that. Um, Adam, I was going to ask you I was going to ask you, you two, if you were to say who was the most important player on DPS, what would you guys say? Because I think that you guys are really like well spread out. Like you have games where people pop off individually. Of course, Alex Gainer always has a great performance. BetConnect always has a great performance, but also Talus is super great in the in the jungle, but doing a lot.
Yeah,
Does a lot of work. Quegger
yeah, he
is
does.
incredible on the tanks in the top side, and then incredible supporting there too. I was talking about. I saw the different times that we saw just some plays by the support as well. That would be was that Fear Sparrow? Some good Morgana shows stuff like that. I noticed those Morgana shows. Like I'm just like it's just like everyone's really stepping up and doing their part. It's hard to really like say like who's the most important player.
Yeah.
But
It's hard for me too. I don't know. I don't like to kind of like choose because then it
yeah,
feels like it downplays like what everyone else did. I will
right.
say like
That's fair.
everyone was really important. Like everyone did their part, and that's how we were like really good. If I actually had to pick someone who was the most important, I think it would probably be Alexander because I mean he's just like he can play anything. He can play
Hmm.
stuff outside of like the normal mid lane shampoo that's like traditional
Rakan. Oh
picks.
my god.
And I don't think I've ever seen him lose lane to anyone. Or
Hmm.
okay, I have maybe, but like he backs it up with like a better like mid game, late game stuff. Like,
Right.
we all have our like sketchy early games, but yeah, I mean, he always beats his laner, like no matter what. So that's like really important. So I am very appreciative of like how good he is. But
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
doesn't mean everyone else wasn't important. Like Quaker, without Quaker, like you know,
True.
he's like a really good tank player. He knows what his role is, even when he's not on tanks, right? And then
Hmm.
Fear, he's a really good laner. He helps me out a lot in lane. Jacob is like a really good like engaged jungler. He knows his role and
Hmm.
he does carry a lot of fights. So
Yeah, there is like one particular dragon fight that his Fiddlesticks ulti, like I think, completely changed the fight. Got a
yeah,
really
no,
good
like
flank on the Fiddlesticks ulti, and I thought that the MG element probably potentially had the fight, and then Fiddlesticks just like ended that thought.
no, like Jacob's really clutch in team fights. Like the champions he plays, he just always finds a way to turn it around, which is
Hmm.
nice.
A lot of good Karthus ultis in game 1 too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, I would say it's Alistander for a very similar reason, but just because it
Hmm.
always seemed like they were like the X factor in a lot of
Right.
ways.
Yeah,
They were able to just find these plays at all times. And honestly,
Hmm.
for you, your bad connection, you were also a very strong player. I would say you're probably runner up there. I could tell that you were always confident on your champion picks and everything. So honestly, just kudos to your entire team for a super super fun season, and excited to see if you guys come back in summer or if there's any tournaments that you guys show up in. Really really happy to see what you guys got in store.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I wish. Oh man. So for those that know the other amateur leagues or like the other places, the other amateur esports league, and others, there's something that's about to go on over the next coming weeks. I'm not sure. RareAdam, maybe you know about this.
Amateur
The amateur
worlds.
worlds. Yes, amateur worlds. Unfortunately, with how our point system is set up and how amateur worlds is set up, we don't really have a way to have a qualifying team because we have teams that have players from
All
I
over
think
the
this player,
place.
yeah, from
Which you
gold to
hire.
diamond one on one team.
Yeah.
So like they can't really like there's not really a point system section of the worlds of
Hmm.
the amateur world, so we don't really have a way of competing in that. I really wish we could have. I didn't really like I didn't really try to like influence the way that they were setting that stuff up too much, but that'd be something to watch. A lot of leagues are also pausing starting their next league so that there's time for amateur worlds to happen between like now and June. So I would say I don't even know who's hosting. Do you know who's hosting it?
I have no
Is
clue.
it
It's like
Excellency
it's
or is it
excellency or
Unified?
something.
I
Yeah.
imagine it'd be something with Jake.
It's
I'm sure
definitely
you guys will
excellency.
probably
Yeah.
see it around. Yeah, it makes sense that it would be Excellency. But yeah, that'd be something interesting. Alice Candy, I was gonna ask. So you've been playing in BTL since well, you've played not the entire time, but you've played your first season of BTL was season 2, right? So you've been here for
Right.
like ever, right? Have you won BTL before? Did you win
No.
that season 2?
I
Okay.
believe this is my first time.
Have you made finals? Like, do you know what's the farthest you made it?
I think the farthest was finals. But I was a sub on that team.
Okay. Do you remember what team what team that was?
It was Ewok's team.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. There was a time where Ewok made finals like multiple times in a row and kept losing it.
yeah, every
Yeah.
single time
Would get like
consistently.
second. Yeah. He would make finals and then get second. That was his thing. I remember that. Yeah. But well, congratulations on finally getting the BTL victory here too. I guess that's
Mhm.
awesome. Oh man, I had another question, but I can't quite think of it right
Mm,
now. Oh, I was gonna ask. Oh, the blue buff steel thing. So I remember. Was that your first time doing that this season? I don't remember. I'm not sure
I'm
if I've seen
unsure.
it
I think
before.
I like have done it like one or two times in scrims maybe, but I don't think I did
Okay.
it in season.
Because there used to be a time I used to do it quite often, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was mentioning that because like I saw you do it, like posing for it, and I'm like, and I've seen it before, but I don't think enemy teams have seen it before this season. Because like if you've seen it, then you watch out for it, like don't let them do that to me, right? Like the
Right.
younger, like if you've seen it before, then you would like ask, like you would like be prepared for it. But I think the fact that you just pulled it out in finals game 1 was just so funny. Because like no one expects it, and that's just I think that is first of all super tilting. Bobby puts it behind, but that was cool to see. Anyways, I think what if you send the All Stars team to whatever this is?
We would if it
Oh,
wasn't
like
like
the
capped.
yeah. It probably still would. It'd probably be hard for us to qualify. Like if we just like because then we're sending a team of randoms that don't really know each other to. I think I think the world's format is the winner of these leagues would then move on to be in worlds for in amateur worlds. so that wouldn't really work out for us. But it'd be cool to see All Stars or see like MVP and stuff like that, or 1v1 tournament. Alexander, I think have you competed on 1v1 tournament before? I know we've done
I
it like
don't
4 times. I'm not sure if you have or if that was
I don't
Reeve.
think so.
Oh, there's Reeve. I know Expo had won it twice. I think Reeve won it once and stuff. But okay, well, who is even live? I see Aegis Esports GG is doing team fight tactics right now. We could give them a host, which is a very early time for us to be ending a stream. But this reminds me. There's the talks about the $10 of RP pricing whenever we had that drama a couple weeks ago. I was like, I don't know where $10 of pricing for the prize pool came out of, but now I remember what that was. It used to be BTL used to have a prize pool that was solely based off of the donations. Like no one else was putting money in. So whenever I won BTL in season 4, I won BTL season 4, and whenever I asked the person that was running the account what our prize was, they looked in the account like there's a $9 here. So we split up. There was $9 for us to take as a prize pool because no one had donated that season. And I was like, well, you can just keep your $9, I guess. I think that's where the meme came from, that there was like a $10 prize pool because no one donated. But at the very least, I'm donating, so there's at least a $250 prize pool for the winners as advertised. And also, if everyone, I'm not sure if anyone's listening, but also everyone that is still here gets back their deposit. So we will be giving that out to, if people would remind me to give me their information to send them their $25. And yeah, I think if they have anything else to say, RareAdam or
That's
champions.
basically it.
All right, cool. And that will be the conclusion of our 12th season. Congratulations to. Wait, what does DPS stand for? Is it damage per second, or like did you have something else? Okay.
I mean,
'Cause
it just sounds cool. I think. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
damage per second.
All right, cool. Guys, it's a damage per second DPS, and we are hosting.
Woohoo.
Yep.